by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Let's get to it. You know what it is. Pull up a Zoom box, grab a microphone, get comfortable. It's about to go down. Welcome, everyone, to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. My name is Elemen2al. Let's get to it. We've been doing this for 160 weeks now, y'all. Can y'all believe it? 160. Oh my goodness. I don't know too many things that have been going for 160 weeks. But if you do, let me know. Tag me in it. Let's get it. We've been doing this for quite a while, y'all, for real. All right. Let's get to it, y'all, for real. I mean, like, listen, we are here for a reason, right? We are here to really, really do it. So let's get to it. Forgive me for the tech issue. All right. We do this every Monday, y'all. You know what it is, right? 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Listen, it's just going down. This is how we do it. You know what I mean? We stream Mondays. You know how we do. If you're watching on one of these platforms and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen, 279-995-364. Listen, join us in the Zoom. It is a truly different world. Interact with the poets. It really is a different world. Listen, everybody in the Zoomverse can tell you it is a truly different world compared to watching it on one of the social media streams. So jump in. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills, all right? So we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or hitting the Cash App at $New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Listen, that sound is addictive. Trust and believe. You put that in there, trust me, those sounds, they're addictive. So plug into the folks. All right. Make sure you are connecting with the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. This dude does so many things. Also, Make sure you are plugging in with the squad. It's Ray Jane, host of Thunder on Thursdays. Paul Conqueso, Storm God's in the building. Make sure you're plugging in with him. We'll talk about him later, host of Voices and Vibes. All right, you can find me so many different places. It's Storm for a season. Make sure you're plugging in. All right, this week's theme, y'all. You only live once, right? I mean, unless y'all know someone who's been here before and they came and told you about the lives they lived before, we only live once, right? Tell us what it means to be unapologetically you, right? Why do you scream this poetry so loud, right? Even though we know you only get one, right? You only live once. Why do you scream poetry so loud, right? Tell us about your bucket list, right? Why is it so important for it to be unapologetically you? So I'm looking forward to all of your poems this evening. However, if your poem is not on theme, that's totally cool. We are still looking forward to your incredible artistry. Coming up next, here it is, y'all. Theme for next week, coming right at you. Loyalty. Sangre. Sangre, softly translated, means blood, right? So what this actually is what does loyalty mean to you, right? What are you loyal to? What are you loyal? When I think of that word, right? Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. It's so many things, right? Also, I have a question for all of y'all. Does blood or sangre equal loyalty? Right? Like how how is loyalty ingrained into your blood? So that's what we're going to be looking at next week. Hopefully y'all come up with some incredible things as you always do. Realize you have poetic license to do whatever it is that you want to with the theme. So that's what we're looking at next week. So plug in. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry, y'all. Yeah, we got some here too, unfortunately. Yes, but let's get to them. Poets, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. We love to see the beautiful expression that goes into your poetry delivery. Plus, you know, clearly you see mine. I love to see how you freak out your backgrounds. All right. We love to see all of that expression. All right. So please turn your cameras on. Listen, I understand it's no different. It's very difficult to be in this space and to be on stage. All right. But turn your cameras on so you can get the love that you deserve. And we're getting to that soon. Poets, have your poems ready. All right. If you're going analog, please have the page dog ear style if you're necessary. If you're using digital, have it ready to pull up or accessible. If you're using music, which is totally cool, all right, make sure it's original music. We don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our uploads. So please make sure your music is original. Listen, I love when people come through with original music, right? There's something different about people who bring their own vibe. Totally cool. All right, poets, you have 3 minutes to rock. All right. You got a 30-second intro. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with what you are telling the people and how they connect with you. Also, after or before you rock, make sure you are plugging your information into the chat so folks can copy and paste their information, your information, so they can connect with you and tell you, hey, it's Sunday. Make sure you sign up for Monday. All right. Listen, we have officially reached 9930 for the babies. All right. Our founders of the cafe were very big proponents on freedom of speech, and we will continue to make sure it flows through every vein of what we do. All right. There are explicit lyricists of our community. They have some very powerful memories that may trigger flashbacks. Therefore, there is no censorship. Other than any ism or hatred that may be used to manipulate people, there is no censorship. Thou hath been warned. I continue to say poetry is a walking, living, breathing trigger warning. You walk into a poetry open mic, you're bound to hear anything, right? From presidency to poverty. Be prepared because we are in that space, all right? This is a true call and response space. After the poets rip, you will see this icon pop up on your screen. Make sure you unmute yourself. Let the poets know that you're in this building. All right. I continue to say all the energy that you give to the poets, they will return to you in their poetic performance. All right. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's Monday night. It's the rowdiest and the loudest night of the week anyway, baby. All right. You know how we do. All right. The list tonight is closed. Sign up begins 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. To sign up, you go to neweurekanpoets.org. Actually, neweurekan.org, clearly. Click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to sign up on. You need an artist RSVP ticket. That's the only way that you're going to get on the guaranteed open mic list is you need an artist RSVP ticket. These will not even populate until 24 hours before the open mic. All right. So make sure you plug in. All right. Listen, and listen, all of the tickets don't always necessarily go in 1 minute. All right. So make sure you are plugging in. If you want to get down, make sure you're plugging in because listen, they do fill up fast. All right. Also going on in the brick and mortar, y'all. The Monday Night Slam hosted by B, the artist. All right. You also got the Monday Night Open Mic hosted by Soul Preem coming up. You got the Wednesday Night Open Mic hosted by Felicia Cade. You got the Wednesday Night Slam hosted by Jay Rose, right? The last Chasing Joy writing workshop series is being hosted this week by our very own Claudia, aka Cap. We're gonna make sure that we get those people involved. Listen, it's been an incredible journey all throughout National Poetry Month. For those who haven't necessarily partaken of the National Poetry Month Challenge or the 30 for 30 Challenge, listen, I implore you to go to as many workshops as you can to get as much inspiration as you possibly can, truly. And here is another opportunity for you to be inspired. So make sure you plug in. All right. Also coming up on Thursday, as I mentioned, our resident hostess with the mostest, the one and only Ray Jane, aka Thunderlung, is hosting our Thunderlung Thursdays. Make sure you are plugging in Guitar Thursdays. It is truly a vibe. Also, make sure you are plugging in on Friday. If you're about that slam life and those scores, Jai Poetic puts it down. Also, coming up very soon, this is very raw, y'all. Coming up very soon, Paul Conqueso is going to be hosting another Voices and Vibes. So plug in. If you're in the area, make sure you're plugging in. All right, y'all. Tonight's list. Look at these beautiful names, y'all. Are you kidding me? It's about to be another one of those Monday nights, y'all. Can you believe it? There are all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh, my goodness. It is always so beautiful to see all of my beautiful poet family. Listen, make sure you are talking to the person next to you, right? High-fiving the person next to you, right? Zoom box to Zoom box. I know, right? It's crazy, right? Make sure you are high-fiving the person next to you. Let's get it. Jumped off, folks. This is the hypest night of the week. And if you are not familiar with it, guess what? You have just been welcomed into the greatest community in the world. I know I'm biased because I get to host this great community every single week. I have posted the list in the chat. Let's get to it. Coming up first, I continue to call this cat the count of contact. This gentleman continues to come through. Listen, this cat used to be the main leadoff hitter of Monday nights. And I'm telling you, every time he comes up to bat, he comes up and he puts it into play. The one and only DG Clearing is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, DG. Set it off this evening. Let's go.
Elemental, it is so good to be here. You can find me on the net under DG Clearing. Just look somewhere. Wow, you got such great energy, Elemental. We got one poem for you tonight. Pipe organ. Walking through the desert, barefoot and naked, as the sun blares its rays across the landscape, my thirst only grows for the truth. I rest, standing in the hollowed shadows of a cactus called the pipe organ. A stance of green columns, some reaching 30 feet high into the arid sky, with a cluster of ribs 15 feet across, and running the length of each pipe are starred bundles of white spiked needles 5 inches long. Waiting, waiting, waiting. I watch spiny lizards scurry between the cloisters in this parched oasis of sheltered reclusion. Soon, Inca doves begin to roost as the sun starts to set, and the flowers of this desert giant begin to bloom in a fusion of white, yellow, and red. As a fruit falls to the ground and breaks open, exposing a red nectar with 1,000,000 seeds suspended in its abyss. This is the universe of the desert. It is in this moment I truly feel alive. Thank you, everyone.
Goodness, DG. Goodness, DG. Now that's how you set it off this evening. Unmute yourself. Give it up for DG.
Yeah, you make us all feel truly alive. Yeah.
No one opens up this place better than DG.
Woo!
No one.
DG, woo!
The desert's a pretty special place, so yeah.
Listen, y'all.
I feel alive being here is what really makes me alive.
Well,
Thank you.
You help us be alive too, brother.
Oh, I know y'all heard that, right? I know y'all heard that. Come back. He said, I really feel alive when I'm here.
I really feel alive being here.
Who felt
right
that?
here.
Who felt that? Who felt
Yeah.
that? Who all felt that, right?
Yeah.
Feel it.
Right. And listen, y'all. It is truly that. It is truly that, right? He mentioned the pipe organ, right? And music was always my first love. I fell in love with music in the womb. But when you talk about a pipe organ, it elicits such different emotions, right? He said, my thirst only grows for the truth. Really? The universe of the desert? Come on, DG. It really is that, right? The folks who know me know that I'm a big nature fan, right? I watch the planet Earth. I watch the nature shows, right? I love those things, right? And when you talk about what you're mentioning, right? The tiny oasis, shelter reclusion, come on, the universe of the desert. Like it really is that. It really is that. And I love how poets just take something that people see as negative and turn it into a beautiful poem. Thank you, DG, for setting us off this evening. As I usually say, Starship has left the building, y'all. We are underway. Make sure you are plugging into DG Clearing. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, our resident legend. Oh, this dude right here again. Forgive me, y'all. He put me in a space with a legend. So I'm always going to have love for this dude, right? Not to mention, I keep saying this cat is probably the strongest blacksmith in our community because his pen stays so sharp. Mr. Lighthouse Writers himself, the one and only Michael Sindler, is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, Michael Sindler. It's always great to see you. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Elemental. Always great. And I will repeat, nobody opens this place up better than DG. Such a pleasure. And it's so good to see Emily here for a change. We miss you when you're not here. You are such an important part of what we are, and you always have been. I'm going to put my word out for lighthouseriders.org. Once again, Lit Fest is coming up in June, and they're just amazing people. I'm taking class from at least, one Pulitzer Prize winner and a couple of National Book Award finalists, and they're just amazing, amazing people. So just go on there, look at the list. There are a lot of, at least a few good things still left that you can get to on Zoom. So do yourself a favor, check it out. I'm not sure how much what I've got is really completely on theme. Can't be. I'll start with a haiku. Where will fate lead us? Question for a day, curious lover. It's actually question for another day. I'm already losing it. Question for another day, curious lover. This one I think is maybe a little bit more. It's called Not Holding. It is not holding on to hurt to stay connected. Bad blood boiled away long ago. Desire does not manifest in longing. The past is not a template to be followed. Moment in and of itself is a flower, fine and fair and lasting a short season. A modest garden planted, left partly wild, mildly tended. No attempt to force bud to blossom. No need to accelerate. Let each bloom at its own rate. No thorns, not holding on to hurt. Careful not to snap fragile stem. Scattered seeds shaken, planted in uncluttered bed. No salt and water that reaches roots. Fragrance floats, cannot be bottled. Breathe it in as breeze carries it along. And I'm going to end with this one. A little bit the other side of it. It's called Every Time. Every time before the chorus can finish, the same scratch leaves me skipping, stuttering on the same word, the phrase I need to say every time, half forgotten, half hanging, waiting on a thumb to knock arm back, pop needle over and over back in the groove every time, just before the word love. Crackling vinyl drowns out melody and static, dust ball hanging off diamond. Every time, it still comes round to you. Okay, thank you all very much. Looking forward to hearing everybody.
That guy said dust falls hanging off of diamonds. Come on, Michael Sandler. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael.
Woo!
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael.
Michael. Woo!
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Woo!
Appreciate that. Always so good to hear your words. Thank you.
Right? Like, listen. This is, and it's so interesting how this lighthouse of our community found itself connected to a lighthouse.org, right? Because in the event that you get lost and you are unsure where fate will lead us, find yourself connected with Michael Sandler, right? Because listen, he will not lead you wrong. I'm telling you, he is a mainstay for a reason. I call him a blacksmith for a reason. Make sure you are plugging in. As I continue to say, this incredible poet would not be highlighting this particular space for year after year if it wasn't a space that could be completely creative and understanding and beneficial to you. Plug in. All right. Thank you, Michael Sendler, for being a valued, continued mainstay of our community. All right. Coming up next. See how I'm adjusting my hat, right? Make sure you got your medulla strapped on tight, because this next gentleman is about to oblongate with all the things that he does. I will guarantee you he is not your damn chihuahua, but he will raise the IQ in this damn room just as he does with every other room he steps into. The one and only Mr. Teza Somok is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, Mr. Tez. Time for our Tez Talk. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Elemental. Jumping right off, you folks can catch me on Instagram under Gashes 2019. I've got to roll fast because I've got some stuff to dish out. So I'm going to take a break from Time Tacos because this one piece is slightly on theme and we're going to hit it hard. So, for whom you ring the wrong doorbell. Concepts has three main characteristics. Concepts are abstract. They are not concrete things, but rather ideas or thoughts. They're not physical objects, but rather mental constructs. Concepts are relational. Concepts are not isolated from one another, but rather they are connected to one another in a network of relations. This means that concepts can only be understood in relation to other concepts. Concepts are creative, and this is where it applies to the writer, the poet, the bard. Concepts are not simply descriptions of the world, but rather they are tools for thinking about the world in a new and creative ways. They allow us to see the world in different ways, to make connections between seemingly unrelated things, and to think about problems in a new and innovative ways. Concept is one of the 6 core competencies of successful storytelling. The concept has 2 faces. One is the what of the story, and the other addresses the how of the story. One is the creative realm in which the story bones begin to form, and the other is the author's narrative strategy, which is the conceptual approach to how the author will tell the proposition, and both are make or break propositions. So here we take John Donne's For Whom the Bell Tolls and Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls, and we say the concept is what if we mix this up with the doorbell ringing killings, and then we come up with this creative idea. So the hook. I remember the day I rang the doorbell. I was just a kid, and I was playing with my friends. We were playing tag, and I ran up to a house that I thought was my friend's house. I rang the doorbell, and a man answered. He looked at me with a confused expression. "Can I help you?" he asked. "I'm looking for my friends Skippy and Tito," I said. "I'm sorry," the man said. "I don't know anyone by those names." I felt my face flush. I wrung my sweaty palms with embarrassment. "I'm sorry," I said. "I must have the wrong house." I turned and ran away feeling humiliated. This is the transition. If it would have been today, we may not be sharing this poem. For whom you ring the wrong doorbell. No person is an island entire of itself. Every person is a piece of the continent, a part of the whole. When a doorbell rings, it rings for all of us. A reminder that death is an inevitable call. But what happens when fear is the fuel for the bell's rings, when the tolling is not for life, but for a violent, deadly thing? In America, fear is king, a constant presence in our minds. We're taught to be on guard to protect what we find, our stolen land, our guns, our sense of invincibility. But when fear and power combine, the results are unspeakably grisly. For whom you ring the wrong doorbell is a question with a deadly response. For in America, fear and guns reign, and innocence can quickly be lost. A gun can feel like protection, like a shield in a world gone awry. But when fear takes the wheel, innocence can easily die. A knock on the wrong door, an innocent mistake, can lead to shattered families, lives left forever opaque. The ringing of the doorbell is no longer for us all. It is for those who live in fear, those who feel they must control. And what of those who fall at the wrong end of the gun, their lives cut short, their dreams forever undone? The child who chases the ball astray into a neighbor's unknown yard, but finds herself in a deadly crosshair of someone's fatal disregard. The cheerleader who steps into the wrong car, mistakenly thinking it was okay, only to face a hail of bullets and a life that's cruelly taken away. Caitlin Gillis and her friends took a wrong turn into an upstate New York driveway, but were met with deadly force that left her loved ones behind. Their doorbell rings in silence, a final goodbye, leaving families shattered and communities left to wonder why. For whom does the doorbell ring in America? It's not for me. It's not for you. It's for the fear we cannot see. For whom you ring the wrong doorbell.
Oh, are you kidding? This guy. I warned y'all before he started. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr.
Woo!
Tour de force.
That's the
Yeah.
doorbell.
Lizzie was right, man.
Tour de
You
force.
live in
That was
fear.
awesome.
Wow.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you to you. You
Speak
have
up.
done it again.
Great
Yeah,
quote.
for whom the doorbell rings. Wow.
Come on, DG,
That
right?
is a bumper sticker right there.
Oh,
People
for
do
whom
bumper
the
stickers
bell
anymore.
I would
tolls.
buy that bumper sticker.
Oh, listen.
Yeah.
Don't get me started
Right.
about poets and advertising. Okay. We are the most creative beings under the sun, right? We are the most. Listen, if advertising companies are watching this right now, any one of these people could make you $10 million. Choose one, pick one, trust and believe. We are advertising geniuses. Listen, Mr. Tez happened to come through and just drop some incredible, listen, you heard him, right? For whom you ring the wrong doorbell, right? When the doorbell rings, it rings for all of us. So many things, right? So many lives, right? In America, fear is king. Come on. See the world in different ways. Truly, right? If we don't see the world in different ways, then you will never be able to actually hear every single one of these boxes that are present this evening. You have to be able to see so many things in so many different ways to be open to receive so many different blessings, right? Because listen, we are not of the people whose doorbell rings in silence, right? Gosh, Mr. Tez is so more. Make sure you're plugging in with him. His latest work is available on Amazon, and I can tell you he is not your damn chihuahua. Shout out to our brother all the way from Japan, Poet Talk, watching on YouTube. Love that cat. He's a damn genius. Make sure you are plugging in with Poet Talk for real. All right, coming up next, this poet continues to make space for poets around the world. They are a co-director of a global network of poets. Again, I continue to say there are superheroes in our community, and then there are Kryptonians. Unmute yourself. Finn Bell is in the building, who I like to call the daughter of Krypton. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know how they can plug into all the incredible things that Fincabulary does. It is always great to see you and hear you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. Good evening, family. I'm a little under the weather, so don't mind me, just a little low. But I have two poems for you. One is an older poem, and the other one is brand spanking new, I think. Okay, so the first one is I Am, the older poem. I am bird nest hair on Sundays. I am breath catching in my chest and then releasing. I am spreading my arms, my body a net to catch everyone, keep them safe. I'm trying not to lose myself to suffocating self-doubt. I'm finding my tongue is armored, but finding my memory gives way to nothingness. I am pain and raging at a world gone lopsided, and raging more at myself for trusting, but I am also forgiveness. I am also blessed grace, because the alternative cannot be given voice. Lest love find no escape, lest hate lodge and die in my throat. I'm little girl innocence lost too soon. I am different in each moment, for fear I will remain rooted to this spot. I am learning all things anew as I go along. Okay, the second one is called, I think this is to the theme, I'm not sure. Shutters ajar. There's a stillness overtaking my soul before mind chooses thought, mouth recognizes voice, before body is rest from womb of blankets, center of being, thrust outside of self. Doubt will not lift me up by corpse torpid limb. I give up seconds later. The sun brings a flare pinprick point of light, stabbing slabs of fleshy eyelids. They squeeze into each other to secure dreams behind their connective tissue and melt into cornea protected. Anxiety never learned subtlety in her approach, prizes my entirety splayed open through these telling windows. Someone said these windows show your soul to the world. Red light peep show, exhibitionist psyche. Lock your windows tight when the nighttime tells you she will fall. Thank you.
Damn it. I've told y'all, some people have superhero powers and some people really do this. Unmute yourself, give it up for Finn Bell.
Woo, Monsieur
Oh,
McCall.
so wonderful. Hope you feel better soon.
Loved that. That was awesome.
Incredible, Fen. Thank you so much. Hope you're feeling better. Thanks for being here tonight, though. Appreciate it.
Love you.
The hardest working poet I know.
Oh, come on, DG. That's how you do it. Listen, there's so many things. Again, I continue to say this poet makes room for other poets, right? So you can call them poets poet. Listen, there's a couple of things that they mentioned. Trying not to lose myself to suffocating self-doubt. We squeeze into each other. Come on. Anxiety never learned subtlety in her approach. Come on. Really? The center of being, the rest outside of self. Listen, I appreciate every single, and listen, I was watching something recently about the people who freestyle compared to the people who write. And the people who write their poetry or rhymes or whatever they do in their creative style, they take very intricate time and space to write each line and each syllable. And there is so much beauty in that. And I appreciate you for taking all the time that you take to write such elegant words. Make sure you are plugging in with Finn Bell and their open mic. Listen, there's so many things going on, the social media aspects. Make sure you're plugging into Finn Bell, a mainstay of our community. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next. Oh my goodness. Where is he? Where are they? Oh my goodness. Am I missing it? Am I missing it? What, Ron, am I missing it? Look, I see Michael Sindler doing what I used to do on so much of a regular basis. Am I missing it? Because I don't see the I'm not seeing the regular Joan, right?
Are you talking about Ed?
No, I'm talking about the okay. We'll go.
No, Paul Skiff is here. Yep, I see him. Let me unmute him.
Where?
Here we go. He's hiding behind the street sign.
You see what he did? Where What happened? Did you see what happened? You see, listen, he didn't even give me a chance to talk about how much of a Jedi master he is. He put the Jedi mind trick on my ass and said, you don't see me, right? Listen, y'all, the one and only Jedi master is in the building. Paul Skiff is here, y'all. Listen, if you are not familiar with this incredible poet, you are about to be blessed. Please, Paul Skiff, take it away. Always great to see you.
Hey, thanks. Tess, hope you got me coming up. Didn't mean to disappear on you. I guess we're standing so close to each other electronically, we're below each other's perception, something like that. Oh, it's so good to be here with you all again. Thank you all for being here. I'm just thriving on all the voices and the intensity of it all. I just have 3 short things I'm going to try and do. I don't think any of them are on theme. Let me see if I can get it up on my screen. Kelly was a robot who called me on the phone to tell me I may have potential compensation. I wanted to ask Kelly on a date to see if her algorithm was programmed to flirt. But then I thought Kelly might be married to another robot. So then I just patiently listened to her spiel. That is, for about 1 whole second, it takes a human brain to revolt against frigid, inorganic, unhuman predations of 21st century hyper-virtual capitalism that now no longer needs an employee, but instead erases the difference between employee and customer, and then regards me as a kind of organic clog in the electronic pipeline to my bank account. And since Kelly exists as inorganic data, a kind of electronic asset vacuum cleaner, when I terminated the call, I also felt nothing. But my reward for hanging up on Kelly's predatory digital profit motive, for terminating her perverse robotic money lust, was the sudden reappearance out of the coldly erotic data haze she emanated that had been distracting me of the plus-size bagel from Yona Schimmel's bakery I had prepared with a thick slab of tongue-dazzling smoked Gouda cheese, and lounging on the yummy expanse of that dairy beach was the vinegary tongue kiss of a freshly sliced artisanal dill pickle, offering a love wholly corporeal, tangible, delivering guaranteed cathartic payoff to my entire body. Here's to you, Kelly, you inorganic siren of fiduciary temptation. Chomp. And the next one is, let's see. The bleeding ulcer in my stomach tells me, like an excuse with the appearance of a human, but never drops the wrong emotion. But I have untied knots, dialed off, caught balance, been unobtrusive. I carried all the drugs in through the front door so no one noticed. I put the gun together on stage in front of an audience, a kind of choir. Its metal parts sang the sound you should get used to. For what is a murder without an audience on the other side, reduced to communicability, the moon knows more about only being seen, not understood. The longer things go on, the less they continue in the mind. How were qualities like the stupid made part of the earth, while the police shooting laughed at the description of a hairy penis, the comedy choked on a racist murder? That is why the universe is burning dollar bills. That is how the universe, which does not have a tongue, can speak with lips of a sound bite. But you can't blame the universe. That is the only way you will see. Hurting me is the biggest thing hurting you. Hang from a string and say you are metaphysical when a stack of air erected over a lake of air is garbage left over after noise that is not ringing in your ear. It is the city that got inside your mind and made you stupid. What if there were hate for the idea that people could feel hunger? Yes, that tiny point of light is my voice in the harbor of the hope for pleasure. What we want has a depth that cannot speak, no source or destination. Is there time for one more short one? I'm not sure. Guess I'll just do it anyway. It's short. Incompletely born, upon each new day we birth ourselves. Beauty and enlightenment honor our miraculous aspiration to finally be perfectly human. Eternal among life's fragility, to exist whole and inherit each tomorrow, be always aware. Antagonism is heredity within the question of survival. The child who will never speak, lost in mind puzzle of a stairwell, may yet be hoped past remorse of our negligent eyes. One who would reveal our divinity by holding forth light is required to also have conflict's courage fill the hand. The value of soul bravery leans on worldly ambition. If you would illuminate sanctuary of creation, first find the need of darkness supersedes understanding the word.
Yeah. Yeah, we all just experienced that in real time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul Skip.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, so glad you went ahead and did the last one. All great.
Nice. Thank you so
Sharing
much.
yourself with us, Paul.
Appreciate it, Paul.
There is only one Paul Skiff in this world, and he does that. And there are so many lines. Jedi Master, I implore you to go back into the chat and look at how much the community connects to the lines that you have produced. Right? The city got into your mind and made you stupid. Are you kidding? Right? Hurting me is the biggest thing. Hurting you, like, are you kidding? Right? To see if her algorithm was programmed to flirt. That was his first poem, right? Like, there's so many things, right? The moon knows more about being seen and misunderstood. Come on, what? What we want has a depth that cannot speak. Listen, I call this gentleman a Jedi Master for a reason, because he is strong in the Force. Make sure you are plugging in with the one and only Jedi Master, Paul Skiff. Listen, again, the Force is strong with that one. Let me shout out a couple of folks before we move on. The one and only Terry Rose Jertson is in the building. You will see Terry Rose Jertson very soon. She will be a feature of coming up very soon in our featured poet spotlights. We will get to that very soon. Doug Silver, Professor Platinum is in the building. Always great to see you, Professor Platinum. Poetic Desire, always good to see you, East. Glad you have come back to our community. I did see Deadpan Lizzie was in the building. Shout out to the normal leadoff hitter, Beanie Blessings to Deadpan. Melinda Lucas was in the building. Always good to see Melinda Lucas. They continue to come through and share their energy with us. Marsha Rivera is in the building. Oh my goodness. It's always great to see Marsha when they come through and share their energy with the community. All right, coming up next, let's keep it going, y'all. Where is this cat? Mr. Rhyme himself has always got the sublime rhyme in time for when his camera comes on, because listen, it's always dawn in this cat's space because the sun is always shining on his face. The one and only Poetastic is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, Eddie. Take it away, man.
Thank you, my bro. Like no other, like words like thunder. Woo! I'm ready to burn this night right under. Woo! My name is Ed Potasser, feeling fantastic. Please get time to go join my wife, Papa Sublime. If you want to know any information about me, please look in the chat so you know where it's at. Well, this is themed, hopefully. This is called Sorry Not Sorry. Some closed minds don't get fed. Why should I apologize to you? My heart is full of lead. Hard lessons stick like glue. I know rage makes you sink, a rock drowning without end. Let's hold up, stop, and think. This feeling separates our enemies and friends. Every time I say I'm sorry, I bite my tongue. You don't deserve no sympathy. Oh, the monster I become. You hurt me without any thought or mind. Why should I give you forgiveness? No, everything's not all right or fine. Why should I give you bliss? Jesus turned the other cheek. Yes, but I'm not that guy. Jesus was murdered being a freak. It's on the Bible. I tell no lies. I'm sorry, not sorry. I can't apologize. I can't give you glory. There's no sympathy in your eyes. Does apologizing make you feel better? Does it really make you feel good? It's not going to sunny my weather. I know, but I deeply wish I could. Where were you when I cried rain? Where were you when I was empty? Where were you against the pain? Where was your heartfelt empathy? I understand saying sorry makes me a better man. Too bad I seriously don't fucking care. You never offered me an ear or a hand. You were never fucking there. Please just stay the fuck away from me. You do more harm than good. You're a beacon of my deep, dark misery. Yes, leave me being completely misunderstood. Thank you.
Yeah, that's that other kind of heat that you come through with. Eddie, unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie.
Eddie, we love
Happy
you.
birthday!
All right.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
Eddie,
thank you.
dropping the
Woo.
bombs.
Eddie.
Okay, right. That's how you are consistently flame thrower, Eddie, right? Flames come in different colors. That's how you do it, Eddie. God, listen. From the Jump Street, that cat said, some closed minds don't get fed. Listen, this is why we're here. right? We're trying to make sure we are translating the real messages into ways that people can actually accept and understand, right? I can't give you glory. Tell them, Eddie, I can't give you glory. What? Where were you when I cried rain, right? Please, just stay the away from me. That's what I'm talking about, Eddie. Make sure you're plugging in with Eddie Foreman, a mainstay of our community, always ready with a rhyme and always right on time. Trust me. Coming up next, the Magus is here, y'all. This gentleman continues to come through with the gusto. Listen, this word was not even in our vernacular until this poet decided that he was going to join our community. And now we are aware of the gusto thanks to the one and only Gustav Solace in the building. Unmute yourself, Gustav. Let the folks know where they can find you, man. It's always great to see you, Gustav. Take it away.
Great to see you, Elemental. Thank you. Greetings, beloved poets. I have some new shit tonight. This is Live in the Now. I'm gonna be extemporaneous, get under your skin, subcutaneous. I write poems so spontaneous, not a line that's extraneous. We're smoking like spliffs, no buts, ands, or ifs. We've all got our gifts. On Zephyr winds it lifts, while the Trump family grifts and tectonic plate shifts, earthquaking, seismic, booty shaking, cosmic, an anaphylactic shock. Just watch us, we rock. Sit back and take stock as we tick and we talk, running through burning streets, fucking on burning sheets that we set aflame, cause we know no shame. No doubt we've got game, impossible to tame. You only live once, they say, so live in the now today. This is I Am, an older piece. I am the groove messiah. I am the burning man. I am the fire. I am the spear in the side of Christ. I am the gangbanger. I just iced. I am the divine in my comedy. I am the illest, my own remedy. I am the melody behind my beat. I am the shoes upon my feet. I am the codons of my DNA. I am the word that made me today. I am you as you are me. I am unchained as we all are, free. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav Solace.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Go off.
God damn it, Gustav. That's how you do it. Oh my goodness. This is why I said the word gusto is now a part of our vernacular, thanks to the Magus Gustav Solace. On Zephyr winds it lifts. This guy is a groove messiah indeed. I am the illest, my own remedy. Did you hear that shit? Did you hear that shit? Sit back and take stocks, right? Woo, woo, woo. That dude's bad business. Make sure you're plugging in with the one and only Gustav Solace, a mainstay of our community. The reason that we know Gusto is because of Gustav. I love that dude. All right. Coming up next. Oh, listen, I can yell at this poet because I've been around this poet for quite some time. This poet has multiple books and is so elegant in what they do. Hopefully, Mama Lee is in the vicinity. Shout out, Mama Lee. The one and only Tara Lee is in the building. Unmute yourself, Tara. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you, Tara. Take it away.
Hey everybody, happy National Poetry Month. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tara Lee. Here is a business card, and I will put all this stuff in the chat for you guys. Yes. So I have two poems. I have no idea if they're on theme, but Our amazing slam team over here in the 757, the Verb Benders, have been giving out some poetry prompts for National Poetry Month. So I'm going to read 2 of them for you guys and also time myself to see how long this takes. So this first one, the prompt was, "Death is at your door." Hello. It's about time. I mean, it's been a minute since I stopped chasing my dreams. I glued myself to the sofa seat, glued my hand to this remote. The only time I've gotten up is to go to work, and even that's not fun anymore. Time whittled to nothing because I couldn't see a way to achieve my dreams. I lost hope and therefore lost life. But death, I'm sorry to say this, you're just a little too late. You see, God sat beside me and we talked. He told me that it's never too late. He gave me business cards and phone numbers of people who can help me. He promised to spread my name to others. He promised to help me make my dreams come true. He told me that life will get better. So I'm hanging onto his encouragement, and I no longer want to go with you. I'm sorry, but death, it's not time yet. That's the first one, and I've got one more for you guys. The prompt for this one was actually today's prompt, and it's describing yourself to a stranger. I don't know if I did it surreal, but here goes. Chip away at the layers and you'll see it. Under the dry hands holding that book is an urge to make a difference. The eyes scanning lines of poetry are searching for meaning in this life. The still body glued to the church pew is a vessel waiting for God to use her. But it takes work to see how she smiles at the simplest of things, how she always waves at puppies and cats and children, to see how she's getting ready, lips humming the tune she wants perfect on the stage, to see how her mind is a race car zooming on a track, and it takes every bit of concentration to cross the road to rest on the bleachers. She is guarded by layers of tough, thick skin, and you have to chip away at all of her walls just to find just how perfect she is. Thank you, everybody.
Tara Lee does it again. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Tara
That
Lee.
was fantastic.
Yeah, Tara Lee.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really great.
Listen, if you are not familiar with Tara Lee and their books, make sure you are plugging in with Tara Lee. Listen. You would think that they're a card player, how they're fanning out their books. Listen, Tara Lee is an incredible writer. Did you hear what Tara said? Right? Time whittled to nothing, right? I lost hope and therefore lost life. About that, right? See how she smiles at the simplest things, right? How many times have people told you stop and smell the roses, right? That's what it's about, right? Smile at the simplest of things, right? She is guarded and by layers of tough skin. I don't know if too many people are not, right? Guarded by layers of tough skin, right? That is who we have to be to survive in this world. Thank you, Tara Lee, for being a valued member of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with Tara Lee and all of their incredible work. Let's keep it going, y'all. Coming up next, this incredible poet. And listen, I'm letting you know, prior to you going, I'm going to come at you after and ask you about something that you kind of hung out at last night, sitting next to another member of our community. Listen, this poet is so dynamic. They are part playwright, part executive, part astronomical. The only poet I know whose name rhymes with goddess, the one and only Emily Cordes in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It's always great to see you. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Hey, it is great to be back and happy National Poetry Writing Month. I'm going to share a couple of new things. The first is from the 3030 poetry group. I believe the prompt was first and last, and it was my first time writing a tanka. So this is called Greetings. What if we approached each encounter as if for the first or last time? What awe would we discover in a hello or goodbye? And this next one I wrote last month. Last month, I got a concussion actually while doing aerial yoga. I fell backward and hit my head. Thankfully, I lived to tell the tale and lived to write a poem about it. It's called Acrobat's Net. I took a tumble in midair. Support systems were flimsy. A lycra sling encasing me, a yoga mat below. A permeable membrane between head and hardwood floor. The last week spun in circles, tricks executed, turned, one then another. What's one more? I asked myself. But accidents occur when we're not careful. Harnesses can slip and lines can blur. And nets you thought could hold you aren't rigged that way. Maybe they never were. Though vices gripped my cranium, I cried less from the pain than from confusion. A not uncommon change of season sight. When March madness descends, rams butt their heads and pressures rise, unlocking secrets lodged in hips in pigeon pose or child's. Tears thaw and wash the glass shards from my eyes, commingling like the rivulets with melting snows and undulating tides. At least this time I'm supine. It's the dead that float face down, an upgrade laid in gutter facing skies. Acrobats can lose their grips and gymnasts get the twisties. Survival swings in balance when we opt for solo flights. We take the lone wolf trope as canon, easily forget that when we play the hanged ones, caught in the throes of chaos or suspense, we don't need to be martyrs for the causes we half value, or rebels lost without one, knights errant with no kingdom but our own lives to defend. It falls to us to weave our nets like spiders from our bodies. Another goddamn task, we ask, but still a fruitful one. Perhaps arachnid penance for the hubris of believing that our gifts exist in exile, or a paradoxic blessing, an aegis silver-lined, self-spun but shared in making by the hands of the divine. Our armor and our sackcloth, an emblem to remind us that for the worse or better, we're creators of our own stories and lives. We can select the characters and setting, pace and time, and craft our webbing gracefully, fine wrought, fine-tuned, and built to fortify us. Thank you.
See, I don't even have to say her name rhymes with goddess because she just does that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Emily.
Yes, that's
Yeah, Emily.
Gorgeous.
Great job,
Thank you.
So much
Thank you.
out here.
You are so appreciated.
Listen, Emily Cordes's debut poetry collection is also available. Make sure you are plugging in with them. But I'm coming back at you, Emily. I'm coming back at you because I understand that you were at a production this weekend, right? Presented at the Cell Theater, written by one of our own community members. Could you please tell the community about that?
Yes, Marilee and I went to see Vale Larkin's play Words of the Prophets. It's a beautiful poetic piece about the various stories of homeless individuals of all different backgrounds, veterans with PTSD, people suffering from sexual abuse, disabled skaters, et cetera. And it was just a really gorgeous piece. I highly recommend checking out Vale's work in any capacity. And I know they live streamed it. I don't know if the video recording is available, but if it is, either way, check it out. Vale is awesome. Shout out.
Thank you, Emily Cordes. Thank you so very much for being there. First of all, for connecting with our community in very real ways. Shout out Marilee Johnson for also connecting with our community in that way. Listen, these things, and Vale mentioned, this poem, this play would not have come together without this global community. So thank you, Emily, for plugging in with Vale and all they do, and just being such a valued member of our community. Listen, if you are not familiar with Emily Cordes, this poet actually worked in the brick and mortar, has continued to be a valued member of our community in the online space, and continues to just be a connecting fiber in all that we do. Thank you, Emily Cordes. Make sure you're plugging and connecting with their work too. Their original work is incredible. It's incredible. So make sure you are plugging in. Thank you, Emily Cordes, for sharing all of your incredible insight. We truly appreciate it. All right, coming up next, this incredible poet, I usually get a chance to experience his incredible work on Thursdays. And listen, if you are not familiar with this incredible poet, they do so many different things, right? I implore you to look up some past recordings of him recording in real time, playing different types of instruments that you may not even be familiar with, but the Baba is real with it. The one and only Ngoma is in the building. Mute yourself, let the folks know how they can connect with you and all the incredible things that you do. It is so great to see you. Take it away.
Oh, it's great to see y'all too. I'll put up my info after I do the reading because I have to go off of here to do it. So I didn't know there was going to be a theme, but since there is a theme, I guess this might kind of fit. I'm gonna try to do 3 poems right quick. This is from my book. I didn't come here to tap dance. The poem is called "Until We Are Free." Hadn't talked to her in a while. She's near Limerick Park. She says, "You still doing that poetry and music thing? I figured you would have retired by now. A lot of folk we know just gave up on slinging rocks at Goliath. The kids all wear white t-shirts to the funerals, tribal warfare block by block that their moms pay rent for. Gang warfare is the order of the day, from the microcosm of street gangs fighting for a piece of the rock to the empire's battalions filling their bank accounts. Salesmen of war suck the blood of the poor, immigrant children in concentration camps, ghetto children in for-profit foster care, the largest prison industrial complex on the planet, like global holocaust, from micro to maximum, a bad dream reality nightmare, middle passage reincarnated, slave trade in Libya, the world's for sale to the highest bidder, bidder men. There's a sale on black babies by the pound on the black market, Obama backlash blues, Reconstruction revisited. Nobody tell you Planned Parenthood is genocide. You could get arrested breathing while black, castrated and hanged in New York, Dixie, any place south of Canada. The real terrorists burn tiki torches in Charlottesville, use niggas for target practice after dark, heat marshmallows in the flames of cross burnings at Klan rallies, still deny clean water in Ferguson. So you ask, you still doing that poetry and music thing? Well, you better ask somebody. Obviously, no one told you I'll be doing this until we're free. Some friends of mine invited me to a jazz, what was supposed to be a jazz concert, and ended up being an orchestra supposedly playing jazz. So while I'm sitting there bored and shit, I wrote this poem, and the poem is called A Trilogy in Criticism of European Classical Music and Jazz Pseudo-Imitations. 1. Ghosts of the past permeate the air. The stench of no rhythm lulls a real nigga to sleep. Remnants of dead white men who sold their souls to the soulless. Bland, no spice, like cream of wheat. Give me live music, alive and growing, funky and vibrant. A melody that I can hum or screech in saxophone. I'll even take a doo-wop. This dead shit leaves me dead. Funk me hard like good sax. Real rhythm makes you pat your feet. Sends a chill up your spine like James say, yeah, hit me. It's gotta be funky for me. 2. Imitations of high art in the name of jazz. Preaching to the African who sold his rhythm for 20 pieces of silver to make white folk comfortable. Real jazz makes you sweat, leaves you something real like cornbread in college. Having jazz funded by the National Endowment takes away the flavor. I like my funk uncut. Let that dead shit rest in peace. 3. Give me a funky bass and a smiling face. I'll leave sleep in the bedroom. I want to feel alive. Lead me to the boogie. My soul needs the huckabuck. Even my menstrual face can't hide the pain, pain, hey. Now let's see if I can do one real quick. Quick. This is called Justice for Justin and Justin. It's a shorty. I knew when he called on the ancestors and Black Jesus that things weren't going too well. After all, the melanin deficient only see the blue-eyed one. So we've really got a problem right there. They really get nervous when we call on the ancestors. There's a drumbeat, heartbeat in the air. Black fist raised on the Senate floor could get you arrested for disagreeing with the gun lobby. Just last week, 6 lay dead in Tennessee, and elementary school is not safe in these yet-to-be United States, where bulletproof backpacks are the latest rage. It's sad that mass killer prevention exercises are part of the curriculum, but not Black history. That's me.
Oh, come on, man. I can't type fast enough for this dude. Unmute yourself. Give it up.
Tell us what you really feel, man.
Yeah. Great.
That
Oh,
jazz
man, we
piece is crazy.
appreciate
That
you
jazz
so
piece is
much.
crazy.
Hold back nothing. I
Love
love it.
it.
OG
Oh, we
does it again.
appreciate you.
I mean,
They don't call
them old heads for no
It sure
reason,
is.
my friend.
People, come on.
Snapping it on.
I want the bomb. I want the people. Woo! Listen. Don't get me started with the mothership connection. All right. Fighting for a piece of the rock. The world's for sale for the highest bidder. Listen, were you like the hidden member of parliament or something, Ngoma? Because you just dropping that funk on funk, man. Talking about the real terrorists in here, man. Like you better be careful with all that, man. An orchestra playing jazz. Listen, I was a member of an orchestra at one point in time, man. Jazz speaks to me in so many different ways, right? Oh, funk me hard like good sax. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all make it. I'm gonna let y'all make it. Make sure you're plugging in with the Baba, because he does this for real. Woo! That was Bob. Appreciate you, Baba. All right, coming up next. I wasn't sure. I saw somebody in this person's camera, and I was like, wait a minute. What happened to CC? Did they? Oh, okay. No, that wasn't CC. CC, he flipped a C and a C on me, and now he is back in the building. Listen, this next poet has been doing it for longer than some of us have been even thinking about poetry. He has a book that has chronicled his time and his life in this open mic scene. Listen, if you are not familiar with this next poet, make sure you get your life and plug in with this cat, the one and only CC Arshadra. It's in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, CC. It is always great to see you, man. Take it away.
It's always a grand gift to be here, and all the voices and all the unmuted voices here, filling your mind and giving us where you are, where we're all at. I love it all. It goes back a decade, maybe 25 years since the beginning of this project, but this is it's listed ISBN as a social science book, number 1-2 poetry. I got a reading for it coming up at a little local funky bookstore in Torrington, Connecticut, with the owner of the bookstore is going to open for me. That's pretty badass. And I just put in the chat a flyer, and I want everyone to look at that and sign up. It's a thing that takes too long to explain. I'm going to put another link in after, because I did Ray Jane's thing in New Eureka last week. I started playing a song, but it was too long, and then Elemental mentioned it. So I just played it. But before the song, it's just this long thing I do where I play and I talk about shit coming up. Check that out. And tell me if you like the song and that little thing. Something I do. So I'm just going to go right into something from the book really quick, and then I'll kick some, what I usually don't do, new shit. So this is just a little thing from the book, number 6. Filled with hope and the faith of pain to die without hate's trace, the God self touches pen and paper and writes, me. Alone steps on the stage to read it. And from the peak of Mount Everest skyline reach, a voice shakes with cold fire as from a mine shaft opening, the last words of the first poem, shivering, scared, sacred. The God self of the first time open microphone poet awaits expectations to reign. And if you've been to thousands of open mics, you know that when someone gets up and reads, that when they get down, that feedback that they touched life and life touched them, that they touched community, and then they want, and that little moment right there, you got to be careful. Expectation is not why you're there. You're there to get the love that you get here. And I'm not lying about that. You get love here. So I just saw Till, and I think everyone should see the movie Till. And this came out of that. It actually came out of me waking up in the morning with the opening line out of a dream. When Mississippi woke up and saw itself afraid of humankind, the river of love began to cry. The dry of blood on the hands of hatred became the suicide of pride wrapped in a black and blue song, beaten by God's own exhausted mercy. But heed here, the call of fear is afraid of love. It will run into the victory of lost. It will fight to know again, hate knows no finishing. Dichotomies are no friend of justice served. Bloodlines in the desert sands still thirst for the blood of survival. Ever ignorant of death is here to give. To love, you are the return love home. To love, you are to return love home. It is not for keeping. You need no safety. Love wears no hide of fear. And this last little one, you were born, you live, and you die. Would you like to dispute this? Life and death are gifts. You can learn this in a moment, a lifetime, or maybe before your last breath. Would you like to dispute this? The height of all you know, all your beliefs, and what you think can be wrong. Would you like to dispute this? Every mistake you have ever made, every choice you had no idea was one, that you could have chosen to harm no one. Would you like to kill? You are love now? Thank you. I mentioned you in the Facebook thing, so you got to watch that. I played the song for you. It's too long for now, so I just made a piano, dropped a bunch of shit. Sign up for this international hybrid thing at the library. It's explained in that thing, and hope you enjoy the song.
Damn it, CC. This is why we appreciate this dude in our community. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CC Archandra.
That was
Yeah,
amazing.
man.
Hey, CC, incredible.
Hey,
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yes. And I will see you at the hybrid.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
It's going to be, there's only 11 people that are actually going to read. I tried to be really clear about this. I had to deal with the politics of the library and the library's board and to get in there. So come there, sign up to read. If you're not on the reading list, you're not on that flyer in the window there in the chat. But that means you signed up for the next one. And if I can get 10, maybe 15 or 20 people saying, I want to read, you will be signed up for the next one, and they're in on it. So it's going to be a live person from around the world and then somebody in the room, alive in the room. But the room is not full with the locals yet. That's all in the next few days. So there was a lot of logistics. The way that the names ended on the list was very, very organic. If it wasn't for Alexandra over in Greece, then that person did recommend get another country, and then whatever came in first in the library did it.
Hold on, CC, hold on. You listen. It's so many international people in our community. Listen, listen, he mentioned the name, right? That poet is from Greece, right? Shout out Alexandra Satopoulou, right? Listen, if you are familiar with all these people in our global connections in our global community, make sure you are plugging in. Listen, Saturday, May 29th, make sure you are plugging in with CC Archandra and all they do. They are trying to connect the world. Listen, we have all been a part of something like that. So make sure you are plugging in with what CC does, right? Love wears no hide of fear, right? You are the return love poem. Indeed, CC. Thank you for being a mainstay of our community. All right. Listen, I am going to pass it off to the dopest tech in the Zoom verse before I do shout out. And I want to make sure that, they come online. Ron, make sure you give this person a chance to speak their mind. The one and only Ray Jane Thunderlung is in the building. I am going to pass it off to my super tech, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson. Please, Ron, take it away. It's always great to see you. You make this thing go, Ron. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Take it away, Ron.
Thank you, and we really think alike because you always call me the dopest tag. You call Ray Jane the dopest host. I'm gonna call you the dopest host on Mondays. You both are just the dopest host during the week. And yes, Ray Jane, I'm gonna give you a chance to talk about your Thursday night online open mic in just a minute. So thank you for this. Also, I wanted to mention Baba mentioned jazz and how it wasn't really what he expected. Well, that's a great segue because yesterday in the New Regan Poets Cafe, we actually kicked off a new jazz event led by our own board member Rome Neal and his band. We had him on vocals. We had a band member playing the piano, saxophone, and drums, and different band members sang. And it was so well received, this jazz event yesterday, that the cafe now plans to make this a monthly event. So we're going to have it in May. Tentatively, it's going to be scheduled for Mother's Day. They are still working out the logistics. So please stay connected with us. It's definitely, I recommend it. I was working in the tech booth yesterday in the cafe. It is a great event. Jazz has come back to the New Regan Poets Cafe, in addition to all the other wonderful programs we're doing there. Also, shout out again to Emily Cordes. She used to work in the cafe. I'm so happy that you're still rocking with us here. You're doing so many wonderful things in the community. You yourself are a playwright. You supported our other playwright, Val Larkin. I saw you acting in a play last year. You're just amazing. Thank you, Emily, for all your support. Christy Scribbles, welcome back. You know, it's been a while since we last saw you. I also want to give a shout out to Elizabeth. Usually we hear her, but she's supporting us on the back end today. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming out here on Monday and for being with us at Voices and Vibes this past Friday in the cafe, our karaoke and independent music showcase. She and Adam were there as well. And Catman Bill, who I see here joined us in our online open mic, and some of us may have met Catman Bill in person before. That was my first time I met Catman Bill in person. I am so happy we got to see you, we got to hear you. He brought his guitar, he rocked out on stage. So Catman Bill, thank you for coming to Voices and Vibes. Why do I mention it? Voices and Vibes was hosted by Paul Concasso. He will continue hosting this next month. I'm going to get to that in a second. I just put all the relevant links for the New Rican Poets Cafe on our many hosts in the chat. And the reason I also bring up Paul Concasso, because as some of you may remember, on the last Thursday each month, Labrour, our executive director, leads a free writing workshop at Studio One, which is on 4th Street, which is just a few blocks in Manhattan from where the New Rican Poets Cafe is. This week, she is busy preparing and rehearsing for her One Woman's show, latest edition at the Hostos College in the Bronx from Puerto Rico. So instead of her teaching the workshop, Paul Concasso will be guest teaching it this Thursday, 7 p.m. in Manhattan. I just put it in the chat. You don't need to RSVP. You can just go, to Studio One, ring the bell, and you will be admitted. It will be a great workshop. Definitely check that out. All right, I'm not going to do my regular slides today. You already saw many of the programs that Elemen2al showed you in his introductions at the beginning of our online open mic. You know by now that on Mondays we have, in addition to the online open mic, we have an on-site open mic and an on-site slam. Wednesdays we have both an on-site open mic followed by the on-site poetry slam. Fridays, Voices and Vibes, except this week we're going to return to it in May 5th, and Fridays still in the late evening, the poetry slam by Jive Poetic. I do want to single out one specific event that is coming up, and I'm going to quickly screen share that on my screen here. And here we go. So this one is Chasing Joy. You heard Elemen2al mentioning it at the beginning about an hour ago as well. This one is the last one of this month. Our own team member Claudia, aka Cap, will be leading this. You see on the flyer, because you are such a great community, we're going to reduce the price. Usually it costs $15 per ticket. If you use code for the love, it will only be $9 per ticket. This is an online workshop, so this is also great for those who are not in New York City. We are holding it in Zoom, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I checked with Claudia, and she also put it in her own Instagram post. You can follow her at cap.writes. And she mentioned that this workshop is not just for writers and poets, but it's for anyone who needs an outlet, anyone who wants to try something new, something that, they need like an energy shift in their life. So we definitely recommend it. And good news as well, Claudia confirmed to me starting next, continuing, because we've been doing it now for 2 months. Every Thursday, we're going to continue to host online writing workshops, 6 p.m. right before Ray Jane's online open mic. There will be different themes each month. We're going to let you know next week what the themes and who the teachers are for the May workshop. So definitely, check that out. And to summarize everything, if you want to follow us, if you haven't done so yet on the internet, our website, you can find us at newrican.org. There you can also click click on full events calendar to buy tickets in advance for any of our online or in-person programs. On Instagram and YouTube, you can find us at Nuyorican Poets Cafe. On Facebook, on Twitter, at Nuyorican Poets without the cafe. And just as a tech side note, some of you might wonder, well, why are we not Nuyorican Poets Cafe on Facebook and Twitter? Unfortunately, it's a little bit too long. They have a 15-character limit, so that's why we're the Nuyorican Poets on those platforms. On Linktree, Nuyorican Poets / Nuyorican Poets Cafe, you can find all of our links, to anything, including job application, internship, opportunities, anything, that you want to get involved with the cafe. You can go to our website / contact if you want to get our newsletters in case you haven't received it yet, and you can contribute and again, happy that each and every week, we really appreciate it. Before we hand it back to Elemental, I'm gonna ask Ray Jane to let us know. It's kind of turning the tables, because on Thursdays we have Elemental tell us the upcoming Monday, but I'm gonna turn the table. Ray Jane, it's so glad to see you here on Mondays, just in case some of us party too much over the weekend and we forgot. Hold on, is there one or two online open mics each month? Remind the audience what's going on Thursdays, and then hand it back to me and I'll introduce our next performer. Then go ahead, Rachel.
What's up, family? Thank you, Ron, for kicking it over to me. Shout out to everybody who's here. Like he said, my name is Ray Jane. That's ITSRAYJANE. I am the host of the Thursday night online open mic. So no, Ron, it's not just one of them on Monday nights. If you feeling good on Thursday, you need somewhere else to come find a safe space to find love, whether that's just to be in the room with us or to share something new. We're doing music, poetry, comedy. Try to keep your pieces to 3 minutes, but hey, we know sometimes it goes over, and we try to make it work with you all. And sign up works the same way it works here, 24 hours ahead of time at the nuyorican.org full events calendar and Thursday of choice. So what does that mean, right? So we spit in at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Then you go sign up at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night, correct? And if you forget all that, you see my Instagram handle is here for those folks out in YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook land. Again, that's at ITSRAYJANE. I drop a little reel every Wednesday morning to remind you how to sign up if you don't remember. And if you forget, just come through anyway. We got something called a good luck round. So we try to make space for you if you made the choice to spend time with us. All right. So Ron, thank you for being the dopest tech host in the universe. At Elemental, you already know, watching you do your thing helps me do my thing. We iron sharpening iron. That's the way we get down in this community. We hope to see you here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then again on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Because we'll be here to catch you, love you, and shelter you as you deserve. Why? Because you deserve it. All right, Joe. Back to you, Ryan. Peace. See y'all.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Oh, I just love working with two of the dopest hosts in the online universe, and of course, I love working with the dopest and greatest community online, and in person as well, because we get to see many of you in person as well. So on that note, we're going to go a little bit across the ocean. Not just one, we're going back to two wonderful poets from across the pond. First up, Lanton Carriot. So happy, to see you. So great that you are part of our community. Lanton, let everyone know where we may follow you, and then go ahead, rock the house for us.
Thank you, my brother Ron. I'll put it in the chat afterwards. I attained resilience in a dark cocoon, not emerging into an elegant butterfly, but following the ways of wine, women, and fast foods along a solemn path with ferocious speed greater than that of a Grand Prix driver. My journey through life was one of rugged terrains, dark tunnels, a vast web of shadows leading to damaged nerves and bleeding scars on my emotions. I was a drunk who knew not but pain and cravings each dawn, as intense as the ceaseless tremor in my grasping fingers, reaching for the bottle of Jack Daniels that I thought would give me solace. I lived only for me, my story one of fast living, finding my pseudo comfort through drugs and other illicit behaviors. I was unhappy, soaked in remorse, loneliness, and fear. My insecurity was immense and filled with nightmarish dreams. I awoke in buckets of sweat, deep-seated anxieties, and the soft loot of conscience, seeking the wakefulness of my nature. Alone in the abyss of my emptiness, love's mercy knocked on my door, and I heard a voice within, begging me to abandon the penury of quick fixes. One day I stumbled into a wise man who taught me that unworthiness and guilt were not the answers. He said that change begins with me, that I am the true master of my fate and should unfurl like the rose, listening to the inner whisper, constantly trying to guide my journey to the path of joyfulness and light. I became unapologetically me, no longer associated with shady deals and cloudy smokes. Gone were the bedfellows, alluring me to awaken in strange surroundings. I realized that I create Mother Gaia by the vibrations that I offer to her, that love through inspirational deeds drives positive change. I learned that toxic behaviors did not fulfill me, but led to a joyless state. I practiced sending good energy to the cosmos, to humanity, and the universe met my needs. I now know I am unique, and that like the sun, moon, and stars, I have something to offer to mankind, that finding this is crucial for my happiness. Finding this is crucial, and my happiness lies in fulfilling this role to humanity. I cried, reached deep within, and my mind felt calmer, even as the psychic heart became more centered. A new sense of vibrancy surged into my life, and my joy and abundance increased as my ancient smile returned. Now my life of loneliness and regrets are over. My health vastly improved. I am happy because through grace, I was given the boon to be my true self. My restless thoughts have been dissolved, and I am well on the way to my paradise on earth. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
I love how he ends his pieces. Everyone, please unmute yourself and give a big round of applause.
Oh, so
Lantern Carrier.
beautiful.
Love it as
Your words
always.
are just incredible and beautiful.
Always a beautiful soul.
Thank you so much, Lantern Carrier.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Lantern. You're just amazing. So many quotable lines. Take a look at the chat. You always give us so much love in the chat. Now we were able to return it, back to you. I love your lines. I also love you dress so nicely and fashionably, and this painting behind you. I always love it. Great that we got to meet you in person at the Poetry Festival last year. Hope that it won't be too long till we see you again. Great. Thank you so much, Landon. All right, before we send it back to Elemental, one more performer, one more from across the pond, Finn Hall. I'm so happy you have become a mainstay, and so happy you're with us. Looking very fashionable with those glasses on top of your other glasses. So that's amazing. Let everyone know where we may find you, and then go ahead. You can rock the house for the next 3 minutes. Okay, I hope it's not just me, but I can't hear you. Is it just me or no? Okay, everyone, give me a thumbs up. Can you hear him or okay, nope, I see it in the chat. We cannot hear you, Finn, for some reason. Finn, is your microphone plugged in or?
Yeah, try that. How's that? Yeah.
Now we go. All right. Okay, everyone again, please welcome Finn Hall. It's all yours.
All right, thank you. That spooky microphone I've got. Evening, welcome. Thank you. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, not Twitter, Insta under my own name. I can put a link after I've done my thing into the little film I made this past little while. It's 40 artists from around the world doing T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. I'm not only allowed to show it once because it's copyright in this country, but over there, it's in the public domain. So a good friend has recorded it and it's on Vimeo, and I'll put the link in. I'm going to do a couple. First of all, it's an old one and it's for you guys. And it's actually called America. There's blood on the streets, now there's blood on the sheets as the redundant coat hangers come out of their closets. Been lurking away for so long. 50 years without tears, 50 years without worry that your life is in danger. 50 years without a backstreet stranger in dimly lit rooms being your only answer. Now women's rights, now human rights are secondary to power, and that's not right. And the cry of white middle-class male should not be heard, as it's absurd that 2/5 don't fit that category. The decision makers, the democracy haters, the common denominator in this hour is power. Control in the name of freedom, control in the name of uncaring, as if all babies are born of love and intimate sharing. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore, and these words mean nothing anymore. And the woman who wrote it is spinning in her grave, I believe, and the fools that rule think of nothing but themselves, and are looking through the books on their shelves to see what other laws their egos can overrule. Now, the abuse of women and children and the weak and the poor, the huddled masses yearning to be free, are secondary, as is the woman's rights to choose. Now, all to even discuss with those that care, those that share their lives. Now, all they are is red-dressed wives being told what to do with their wombs, as the wealthy can covertly fly to other countries and privately pay for their needs, for the rest must stay and secretly find the backstreet room to bleed and hopefully survive. Unless the legal concealed gun in the hands of the scared right-wing cowards decide this forlorn wife is a threat to his life. And this one, actually, I wrote just last week. It's for National Poetry Month, and the prompt we were given was skin. You see this skin, not the one who lives in. You see the spots and the scars, the wrinkles, the cuts, the freckles in hair, without an idea who exists in there. Or only look with your peripheral vision, not knowing what the septuagenarian's outer shell disguises. I hope you don't mind surprises. You just don't know. I'm the happy loner in the crowd. You just don't see. I have one tattoo, that's all. A taint upon my well-worn shell, you think? I could probably walk you under the table. If it's too hilly, I'm less able. But, and this is a big but, don't jump to any conclusion. The smooth-faced skin, well, it's just an illusion. I've earned the tears, the bumps and gashes that creeping, crawling time surpasses. That only tells you what you see. I keep within the real me. I'm deaf, a bit blind, but I don't mind. My glasses help me read a book. And like me, you may discover the old adage and don't judge a book by its cover. Hardcover, soft cover, I can be both inside, outside, bubbling up, troubling up, boiling still, hiss. No, I'm fine in this skin. In this skin, neither thick nor thin, a human being lives within. Surface-wise, I may look fine, and underneath the muscle mass, the nerves entwine and twisting, coiling, angst and pain. Inside, outside, not the same. Not the same. You just don't know. Thank you.
One thing we do know is Finn Hall is absolutely phenomenal. Unmute yourself, give it up for
Yeah,
Finn.
Appreciate you staying up, man.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, appreciate you
Redundant coat
saying it,
hangers.
Fuck
Michael
yeah.
Sandler. Listen, it is extremely wicked hours where Finn Hall is right now. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with us, Finn Hall, and staying up with us and sharing your incredible poetry. Listen, that dude's whole aesthetic right now with the glass. Listen, appreciate you, Finn Hall. Democracy haters, right? Human rights are second. Indeed, they are for some folks, right? He said red dress wives being told what to do with their wombs, right? My mom likes to always mention the Stepford wives, right? I don't know if any of you are familiar with that story, right? But that is what so many people are doing. At least, higher courts. I wrote something recently that said we are only one Supreme Court decision away from chaos in this country. So thank you, Finn Hall. And listen, Finn Hall is not even in the continental U.S. All right, but listen, when you come across poets who are talking about the real and true things that are going on in the world, it's universal. It's universal. So before we move on to the next poet, I am going to ask everyone to unmute themselves and give it up for the one and only Ron Mark Thompson.
RMT. RMT.
RMT, yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
Oh, too much attention, too much attention. Thank you so much, guys. You guys, we love you all. Thank you.
Love you, Ron.
Listen, y'all. And listen, I was talking to Ron before we jumped in this evening, and I was telling him how much I appreciate that cat because he does the things that he does so I can do the things that I do. All right. So I truly appreciate Ron for being dedicated to what he does. It truly makes a difference, y'all. Truly. I know you don't get a chance to hear Ron's poetry. You don't get a chance to hear my poetry as much as we used to. But let me tell you, the reason why this goes the way it does is because Ron is dedicated to what he does. Thank you, Ron. All right. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Coming up next, right? I believe another person mentioned them. I believe it was Tara Lee, right? 757 in the building. Listen, this cat is truly one of those dudes, right? You could really consider this cat an American hero because he has truly helped us do some incredible and amazing things. Stand up at the position of attention. Make sure you salute this cat. The one and only Mr. Speaker is in the building. Unmute yourself, bro. Let the folks know where they can find you online, man. Always great to see you. Take it away.
Let's go. Let's do this poetry. Who am I? Unmistakably me. Who am I? Good evening, good evening, good evening, New York poets, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems. I realize many of you don't know me. I can tell by your blank stare. My name is James. Poetically, I'm called Mr. Speaker, but baby, professionally, I'm normally called Sir or Colonel, because I'm a modern day Buffalo Soldier, you might say. So that means on the 1st and the 15th of each month, now that's when I get paid from the Army. But see, that's not all, because I also collect those rents. Kentucky, Virginia, and Georgia are the states from where my money is sent. See, I train soldiers, give them orders and lead them as we protect our homes and residents. Check this. Some of my orders come directly from the United States president. Look, I shake hands with people like I'm running for a political position. I've dined with kings, played dominoes with waiters, and defeated some of the best military competition. I've traveled the world so much that right now I got 3 different types of foreign currency in my pocket. I've driven 160 miles per hour on the German Autobahn, baby, and it felt like a rocket. Since I graduated, I've never been unemployed, as I have needs that I must feed. Yes, I said graduated because the walk in these boots means you're gonna need at least a master's degree. WKU in Central Michigan, I worked at my university working before I left Smoketown. College educated, paid with street credibility, no doubt. Now that's how a true leader gets down. Started out as an enlisted soldier, Been an artilleryman, seen Lieutenant Dan, have been called a Major Payne a long time ago. Yes, I'm an American guardian and lifesaver. But to all you gold diggers, this soldier's not your Captain Save-A-Hole. Because see, I've been making and living some of the history you've been hearing and reading about. But the fact is, you cannot believe everything in the media, and that's no doubt. Check it. Minority crimes commit 20% of the local crime, and that fact is crystal clear. While 70% of the media play goes to other people's, put people in fear. Look, it is 2023, people, and the U.S. is trying to lead the free world once more, while it is clear that some people have not even realized that the South actually lost the Civil War. See, I'm not afraid. As I put my work in daily, have excellent credit and high clout. Check your records and you will see I'm that man Salt and Pepper once rapped about. Strong Kappa man, never been incarcerated and still looking for my queen. Being a military leader is hard work, so I cannot have just anyone on my team. Let me put it in a nutshell and give my description a little twist. So y'all hold on to your seats as I run it down like this. I'm a spiritually grounded out front leader and an expert logistician, skilled, motivated, extensively educated, and gifted mathematician. I'm 100% fit to fight, a combat veteran, certified expert with either hand, deadly sniper, African heritage, widely traveled, and yo, baby, I'm an all-American. Arrogant, possibly conceited, maybe, feared, better respected, definitely paid, have to get the politically, jock, formally, confident, extremely blessed, both spiritually and physically, strapped always, noob, everyday hero, some say on target all day, standing tall, not afraid, run, no freaking way. Well, that is unless I'm chasing you, and if I am, ain't really much you can do. But don't just run, hide. I'll find you, and ain't no doubt. And when I catch that butt, I'll make you tell all you know with torture techniques you ain't even heard about. Face it, I am the closest most of you all will ever get to war. So sit down and listen when I grab the mic and take the floor. Look, I've heard what singers like Destiny's Child said, and when some of them other rappers told you, but get it straight, it's me. Not those street thugs who's a real live modern day Buffalo soldier. It's my job to stand strong. Look danger in the eye and never quit while I can fight. Without soldiers like me, baby, you can bet your freedoms will be lost in less than 7 nights. Since 1990, I've been representing the U.S. Army both nationally and worldwide. See, that's what can happen to a man who understands the true meaning of Phi Nu Pi. So take a deep breath and think of me when you relax our home safe tonight, because it's your homegrown New York poet, leader of the pack, and protector of your freedoms and your rights. In peace.
Here we go with that Phi Nu Pi, building bridges to the day they die. I know. Give it up for the one and only Mr.
Speaker. Yes,
I
thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you for all you do in protecting us.
Boom, baby. Pop
Things
your
we don't want
collar.
to do. You're the best.
Listen, shout out to the noobs in the building. One of my closest partner is a noob. Shout out Frank P. Listen, if you are not familiar with the homie Mr. Speaker, that dude does that for real. A modern day Buffalo soldier, according to his own words. Like, listen, and listen, I can vouch for that cat. He said some of my orders come from the U.S. president. Listen, if you are not familiar with that shape that kind of runs the military mindset, you know what I mean, that kind of runs the American defense, if you are not familiar with that shape, because the only shape that we are familiar with in this country, if you are not familiar with that shape, then you're probably not familiar with Mr. Speaker. Listen, he said the South actually lost the Civil War. If you don't know that, make sure you are doing your own research. Damn it. Being a military leader is not easy, y'all, right? But he does it. He does it. It's because it's his job to stand strong. Appreciate you, Mr. Speaker. For real, like I said, 757 in the building. All right. From one military leader to the next. This gentleman right here, let me tell y'all, I don't know where this cat's going, all right? But listen, I got love for this corps, all right? As a veteran, this is our little brother, you know what I'm saying? My father was a Marine, so, you know, Semper Fi, all day, all long. Listen, this poet right here, if y'all not familiar with this cat, he about to do it to y'all. Let the church say, God damn, the one and only CP Mays is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, Mays. You know what the hell it is. Take it away.
What's good, everybody? Shout outs and thank yous to all the military people in the house and the veterans that served. I think it's serendipitous that I follow Mr. Speaker because of the poem I actually chose for the night. So yeah, man, let's burn the bridge and burn the building down. So here's my poem. I wrote it back in the day. So my age has changed now, but I'm not going to tell you my real age. Just check out the gray hair. Here we go. It's called 29 years old. 29 years old, born July 17th, 1978 at an uncle's birthday party. While my father was trying to get another nut, my mother's water broke. They drove me to a county hospital, which means I was born between the words fuck and you, letters K and Y. When it comes to stereotypes, I am a slippery anomaly. It isn't in my heritage to be a heretic. My mother is a pistol, my father, a light grenade. They gave birth to a Sun Tzu, a small third world country well-schooled in the arts of war. I can break down an M16 blindfolded, reassemble it, perform a fully functioning operational check in less than 60 seconds. I live my life the same way I relive my nightmares, up close and fucking personal. Honestly, if you've never seen a face of a killer, you should take a good look at one. Because honesty's not your best policy when you serve 5 years underneath the United States Marine Corps acronym of USMC. You signed the motherfucking contract, CP Mays. I learned CPR by placing my fingers to the pulse of a corporal, counting heartbeats, trying to break a contract, reading what patriotism's pain, signed on his own skins, dotted lines, my life. It's a made-for-lithium movie. Starring Charles Perry, directed by Jesus, edited by Beelzebub, no special effects. My parents didn't choose to abort me, so from my first to my last action scene, you can expect no goddamn wires. I raised my children the same way the court taught me to raise an assault rifle. Be dropped, dead, gorgeous, because my grandfather died a prisoner of war in his own home, elderly and alone. My grandmother was a call sign. Let's call her cancer. She died fighting operations, trying to endure freedom, but they gave birth to a pistol that one day married a light grenade. And at 2:53 a.m., they gave birth to the only Sun Tzu, a small third world country that will one day grow to become evasive maneuvers and metaphor. Third and fourth in the world for slam poetry, a sonnet of napalm, well schooled in the arts of war. Your tax money paid for me to become brilliantly book smart. Then again, it also paid for me to have a real killer's common sense. The only fucker I fear is God. But I'm so afraid he won't forgive me for everything else. Nuyo, these two hands have made love and war in the very same night, and these ain't no goddamn metaphors. It's where I go to log, blog, and post-traumatic stress, born in between that K and Y, a slippery anomaly. Read me openly. If you don't understand my font, then maybe you need to format the face of your high-capping stereotypes. Poetry didn't save my life. But I got 2 rows of medals that proves it for goddamn sure saved yours. You better tell him, God. Poem.
Oh, I know that's the poem. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. You better tell him, God. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CP, man.
Fire. Poetry didn't say.
You transcended poetry with that shit.
Y'all back to back is just not fair.
Fucking poetry mold.
But it's so right.
Come on. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Like, listen. Listen, I told y'all before he started, let the church say, God damn, because they gave birth to Sun Tzu. What? Burn between the words fuck and you. Are you kidding? This fucking guy. You gave birth to the holy Sun Tzu. This guy, I'm napalm well schooled. Have a real killer's common sense, this dude. I have made love and war in the same night. You better tell him, God. You better tell him, God, because I'm going to tell him that dude's sick with it. I'm going to tell him that dude's sick with it. You better tell him, God, because if you don't, I'm going to tell him next time that cat is in my vicinity, which will be real soon. Make sure you're plugging in with CP Mays. That cat is incredible. For real. All bullshit aside, that cat's incredible. All right, coming up next, this poet, let me tell you, this poet has their debut collection coming up soon. We have been experiencing this incredible poet's work for some time now, whether they are vexed or in a great space. Let me tell you, Lex's poetry is always on point, and I cannot wait to get my hands on their collection. The one and only Vex Lex is in the building. Unmute yourself, Lex. Let the folks know where they can find you and how they can get your incredible poetry collection. Take it away, Lex. Great to see you.
Thank you for that, Elemental, and shout out to you and shout out to everyone. Woo! I'm still trying to get back to the stratosphere after that last poem. Oh my God. But yeah, like Elemental said, I am publishing my debut poetry book with Red or Green Books with Marissa Prada. It's called Ask Me Again in 6 Months. You can see, got the title back there going. That's, a little bit of a preview of what's to come. You can follow me on IG at VexLex Poetry. And Ray Jane just put it in the chat. My website, officialvexlex.com. Fill out the form. That's how you get your pre-orders in. All right, so for this theme, this poem is called Unapologetically. My girlfriend, my person. You see, she loves me even when I am the most roughest of drafts, completely unedited. When I continue to tweak myself, coffee stains and misspelled words, obvious grammatical errors, but she doesn't mind. She loves me even when I am split ends on a Saturday morning or every morning, wild hair roaring. I am embarrassed to be seen, but she does not take her gaze off of me. She loves me even when my mind is completely scattered, and I may or may not have forgotten that we have plans this week. She knows it is not intentional. I still find it necessary to apologize for being myself, but she cannot accept an apology she never needed. She loves me even when I can't fathom being in my own skin. I pick myself apart, and she chooses to be gentle with each individual piece. She loves me even when. Thank you.
Oh, hell no. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Vex Lex.
Yes, Vex.
So moving.
Y'all better go buy that
Thank
book.
you. Shout out to you, Ray Jane.
Nice,
Woo.
Vex. Good job. Good read. Appreciate it.
It's in the chat.
Congrats.
I did all the work for you. Buy the book.
Congrats on the book.
Thank you.
Give me, listen. I don't know if y'all heard that, but Lex, prepare yourself because I'm coming back at you for that one. Hold up. Beyond the fact that, listen, I love the fact that our community continues to find ways to publish our first works. But I want you to kind of elaborate on that line that you mentioned early on, Lex. You said, she loves me when I'm the most roughest of drafts. Tell me about that line, Lex.
Oh man, she loves me like even in my chaotic mess. You know, when you kind of just are putting your thoughts on paper and it's not supposed to make sense. She loves me when I don't make any sense.
Oh shit. Listen, when you come across something like that, that is the most priceless thing in your existence. When someone loves you when you don't make sense, when someone loves you when you are so lost you can't remember your name or your purpose, but they keep you grounded.
Yes.
Damn it, Lex. Oh my, it just, you know, even when I'm in the roughest of drafts, right? It just kind of reminds me of, you know, the kind of thing that people say where you got to face only a mother could love, right? It's kind of one of those things, like even when you're at your rawest, right? When you're just like, I don't know how this is going to work out. Someone's like, I believe in you because you're the best at what you do. And that motivation, that love, that connection is the most powerful motivation that anyone could ever experience. Thank you, Lex.
Thank you.
Man, yes, listen, make sure you are plugging in with VexLex and get their debut collection. I truly believe there's no doubt that it's going to be phenomenal because VexLex has been sharing their poetry with us for some years now, and it's been phenomenal every single time. Thank you, Lex, for being a valued member of our community, truly. All right, y'all. Coming up next, another valued member of our community. This poet has even ventured into having his own open mic connected to his second incredible work of art, From Light, Shadow Life to Let's Unmesh Life. The one and only Unmeshable Hitgar is here, y'all. Unmute yourself, Unmesh. Let the folks know how they can connect with you and connect with your incredible open mic. It is always great to see you, Unmesh. Take it away.
Hey, Elemental. Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot, Gusto. So it's great to be here as always. So I won't take much time. Here we go. What do you mean by you only live once? There are people who suffer and live life in a living hell every day. Still, next morning, they are ready for the life. Life is not a circle. It is a road without destination. Mysterious, uncontrolled, unexplained. YOLO. Is it about leaving everything to live your selfish life? Are you going to leave your children or family to live your life? Is your life all about wandering in the dark with no responsibility? I don't have answers. Be in the moment is another mantra which I would like to follow. I know it sounds cliche. Never seen anyone totally successful in that. Pain, suffering, and happiness are different stops in our journey. Then there are full stops which arrive uninvited, and you are transported to some unknown place. You cannot live your life alone. Let's not wait to live our life only once. Let's try to live our lives every moment. Moments which we control. Moments which we don't. Moments of desperation, insults, defeats. Let's not ignore these challenging moments. They make the person who you are today. There are no shortcuts in life. Shortcuts only result in short circuits. Short circuits. Thank you.
Shortcuts only result in short circuits. God damn it, he said that. Unmute yourself, give it up for Ume.
Always good. Always good stuff.
Yeah, buy his
We
book.
love you.
Great.
Like, listen. It is wicked early where Unmesh is in India. It's wicked early, right? But we've been experiencing Unmesh's poetry at his crazy wicked hours from the beginning. And he continues to bring the sun in a time zone where the moon is shining. But Unmesh always lightens up the sky. Ah, damn it, Unmesh. Damn it, Unmesh. Yeah, man, I've always appreciated your energy, and you continue to bring it. And I love you so much for that, Unmesh, because again, there's only one Unmesh Mohitgar, right? This dude has done it in the Zoom verse. He's done it in real life. He's even been on the train spitting poetry, right? And now he even hosts his own open mic, 10:30 a.m. New York time on Saturday. Is that right, Unmesh? I believe it's 10:30 New York time. Listen, 10:30 Eastern time. Make sure you're plugging in with Unmesh. Listen. Listen. There are full stops that arrive uninvited. Make sure you are prepared for them. Gosh. A mainstay of our community, the one and only Unmesh Mohitgar. Make sure you are plugging in. All right, y'all. Coming up next, Great Scott, we have a pleasant gesture. On the list this evening was Complicated Passions, aka Samuel Rain Benjamin. Shout out Complicated. And they asked if I could, Scott Pleasant, their spot forward. And due to that, we get a chance to hear a poet that we have not heard from in quite some time, but is a mainstay of our community. I have been making sure that this poet continues to stay plugged in because they are a valued member of our community. It is great that they are back in the building, and it is great to finally hear from them. The one and only Poetic Desire is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, East. Take it away.
Hey. Can you hear me okay? Let's start with that. All right. Poetic Desire, K, Poetic with a K. That's on Instagram and Facebook. And if you go to 6 Word Memoirs, it's Poetic Pisces, spelt the correct way. All right. Was not expecting to read, so I didn't get to write anything, but this is from a while back and it's suitable. It's called The Real Me. The sides of me are many, alternating in rotation like a Rubik's Cube puzzle, discovering the right combination to land on the depiction of your perception of which side I choose for you to believe in. So do you think you've seen the real me? Think for a moment. What and how much do you really know about me? For the image you see is a product of what I choose for you to perceive. It's like this. Your similar interests plus your personality, how you connect with me is then multiplied by the transcription of a story of a side witnessed unfolding, resulting in the product of that bonded connection. For the sides of me are plentiful, spread out among an array of stereotypical categories found in life's hallways of name-branded breezeways, where a roof shall shade from view parts not ready to be revealed to you, allowing easily accessible side entrances without shameful reserve into reflections of the real me suitable for you to observe. Take, for example, I'm the wife of a military man, a mother who's birthed 2 children, a daughter, a sister, a list of all the relative terms I shall fall under in the family tree of life. I'm also a friend, a co-worker, a confidant, an acquaintance, an endless assorted list of roles in which I am cast for the strangers who shall cross my path. Nevertheless, with each brand I bear comes a certain image I must flaunt and wear, demanding the portrayal of an intention of my implication to mold your perception, challenged by each position to uphold its flaunted image. This transcription of a story you shall witness unfolding, its complete story still remains a mystery to all. It doesn't really matter how well you think you know me. It doesn't really matter if you're my best friend or enemy. We all have sides to us which we only feel compelled to show to certain individuals of our inner and outer shells. After all, as the saying goes, looks can be deceiving. How true, how true. How oh so very true. Like a book that can't be judged by its cover, that's how the real me can't be discovered. You must dare to turn the pages, dare to read its contents, mixed with a little bit of your personality. The realness of its hidden truths becomes your understanding of its essence. So don't be fooled by my demeanor. I am what I am. I am who I am, the product of the side of me I choose for you to see based on that connection you have formed with me. So while I may seem one way to you, perhaps nice, innocent, quiet, sometimes a bit conservative and shy at first, a facade I routinely play as my first impression to you, though not entirely a false facade flaunted, for that is the real me's truest essence, but we each possess a little bit of both, the yins and yangs of all personalities, though each may trade places from time to time, each ruling a higher precedence over the other when necessary. I too, at times, can be a little more mean, cunning, and devious. If you dare provoke me to portray that guise, a little more boisterous and entertaining when one can help me shed my shy veneer, a little more sexier, naughty, and unreserved, when this sweet thing dares to enjoy a night on the town, a trait known all too well to the one who has scored that winning wedlocked boudoir touchdown. This is not hard to understand, not hard at all, if you yourself consider how the sides of your own Rubik's Cube alternates in rotation to discover the right combination of how your own encountered interactions becomes the product of whatever truth is perceived by others as the real you, based on the equation of those connections of who we feel compelled to reveal our inner and outer shells. So take a moment to think. Do I know the real you? Do you know the real me? Good night.
I love that shit right there. It's like the end of a Twilight Zone episode or Tales from the Crypt, right? Like, do you really know what you just got into? Unmute yourself, give it up for Poetic Desire.
Ooh. Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Right?
Sweet poets.
right. That ending, right? It's just like, oh, let me just sprinkle some sugar on the wound that I just caused on you. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. And the cadence, you know, the way that you rip, which side I choose for you to believe in. That is how you do it. Clearly the daughter of Krypton. The whole Pisces is in the building. All right. Listen, the yin and yang of all personalities. I am what I am. I am who I am. That's what I appreciate so very much about poets. How the sides of your own Rubik's Cube. Listen, if you're not familiar with a Rubik's Cube, right? There's so many different variations, right? But we are truly as complex as one of those things. And it also depends on, you know, how you're perceived by others, who is the real you. Thank you, East. And listen, this is what I love about real poets, right? Because as they mentioned, they're like, oh, I wasn't ready. Oh, I was unprepared. I'm just gonna rip it. I'm just gonna tear it down for y'all real quick because I haven't in about a year. No problem. Thank you, East, for being in the building. Make sure you are plugging in with Poetic Desire and make sure they continue to come through Monday night. All right, coming up next. This poet's name was in blue because I get to yell at them. I yelled at Poetic Desire, but I get to yell at this poet. I believe, shout out Guerrilla Poets in the building. Listen, Scribbles is one of those poets who has been just one of those kind of poets right? And I love when poets come through with so much of their authentic voice, so much of their authentic energy, right? When they don't try to be like anyone, when they are just trying to be so much of their authentic self. I think of this poet, the one and only Christy Scribbles is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Take it away.
Yes, hello. It's so good to be back. I think this is my first time this year, which is fucking crazy. Things have been wild, but they're settling down, and I'm excited to be here. I am going to be jamming with Jane Spoken Word on Thursday, 8 p.m. on the 27th. Come see us. It's 4 poets and Jane kind of spitting and, you know, throwing poetry around. So it'll be a good time. Come see us before you see Ray Jane. Okay, so this poem came out when I read, you know, the theme tonight where it said, "What makes you want to scream poetry?" And I'm gonna try to do it justice. I'm a little nervous, but here we go. Woo, nervous. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. Scream, scream, the poetry screams. I focus my attention to the haze within my head, within my heart, within my soul, the white noise of it all, of all the grime and all the grit and all the pain and the sadness and the shootings of the innocent as they sit in their classrooms or stand upon porches looking for their siblings, or they make a wrong turn, I've made a wrong turn. You've made a wrong turn. When did we make the wrong turn? As we watch and we wait to see how bad it will be. As long as they have their weapons of choice, with that choice to hold guns above life, above children, above heads, watch my head, watch your heads, watching talking heads while we lay in our beds with soft blanket spreads. The news spreads my head. The fear spreads my head. The dread spreads my head as my head hits pillow. As I lay me down to sleep, sleep, sleep. All I want to do is ignore, is distract, is avoid. But the deep inner voice of the station of static fills me to the crown. As I lay upon the ground, I shake the shivers of sadness out of corner's eye that sits inside my skull and bleeds the tears of sorrow, bleeds the tears of confusion, and inside my delusion, I feel them whispering. I feel them watching. I feel them waiting, them calling. Use us, Christy. Use us. We are here. We can help. And I know what must happen. And I know what they want. Often they haunt in the cobwebs of my everyday. They want to laugh and play and tickle and scream. The words they want to scream. They want me to allow them to be the voice, the vibration, the frequency of the scream. The words want me to scream them from every day, every fucking tower that holds any sort of elevation. Climb, they say. Climb high, my child, and scream us to redeem us into the physicality of the world that you live in. Take the time to write us down and find the places to scream us out loud, because we like when you shout and hold the air, the page, the portal, the screaming portal of the you who has had enough. Who has had enough? Have you had enough? I have had enough, they scream. When will it be enough? They scream. I scream for them. I scream for them. Scream the word shout. Scream the word shout. Shout the words out. Shout the words out. Scream the poetry screams. Scream the poetry screams. Thank you. Woo!
Scream the poetry, scream. Oh, mute yourself. Give it up for Christy
Christy Scribbles, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah!
Yes,
Go ahead and
yes.
make me feel something.
Thank you.
That's a
Thank you,
scream.
thank
We
you.
all need to scream.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, listen. It's poems like that, right? Haunt the cobwebs of my everyday. Like, listen, I made the wrong turns. Like, oh, really? Really? Scream. Scream. Scream the word shout. Scream the poetry scream. Scream the poetry scream. Scream us to redeem us. Y'all hear that? This is what I love about new shit, because it's always just so powerful, right? It comes from just a true inspirational emotion, right? And when you come across something like that, oh, there is nothing more powerful. When you connect with something on a molecular level, as I lay me down to sleep. Yes, indeed, because sometimes these words don't let us sleep. Thank you, Scribbles, for doing what you do and sharing it with us, a mainstay of our community. Make sure you're not a stranger, Scribbles. Woo-hoo-hoo. Boy, I'm telling you, I keep telling y'all, there are people that do this. There are people that do this. Coming up next, another person that does. And he is about to probably take us on another micro triptych to his incredible poetry. The one and only Nemo Soom is in the building. Shout out to Guerrilla Poets. Let the folks know where they can find you, Nemo. It is always great to see you, man. Take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. I'm Nemo Soom. You can find me on Instagram, Nemo Soom Words with underscores. I do, in fact, have a micro triptych. Oh, you can also find my website at nemosoomwords.com. I have a micro triptych. He's right. When my mind is fucked and my wife has to send a perfect stranger to pick me up from riding the lightning, I'm sitting in my wheelie chair, and all I can see are the muscles standing out on this man's arm. And I know it's only a matter of time before I vomit on someone. And that's when I realize that I'm crossing over from the bad place to the good place, because that's what they said would be there on the other side of the lightning. And of course, it's gonna burn, because that's what lightning does when it purifies. My bad brain is getting better, because that's what it's supposed to do when it rides the lightning. All the grass was dead, and the air was only slightly cold under a silent gray sky. I walked and I smoked. The heart in my chest was freshly broken, still all jagged edges, and I wanted to rip it out to stop it from hurting. As the sky darkened, twinkle lights fought back with their little pools of defiant color. There's a pot on the burner, and the little bubbles are swirling while the steam rises. They say the stew is supposed to smile, and the only light is above the stove. The spice dances on the inside of my nose, just enough for little tears. There's music in the kitchen and the sound of laughter from down the hall. She isn't here, but yet she's everywhere. Now it's quiet and the pot is gone, and the stove is gone, and the light is gone, and I'm sitting in the dark, but I'm okay because all I feel is the warmth of the hand that's holding mine in this safe place. Thank you.
And we have just touched down from another incredible micro triptych. Give it up for Nemo Sue.
Yes, love it.
Nemo.
Thank you.
That's so good.
you
Thank you.
work.
Nemo.
Wow.
Elemen2al the Poet.
You know, listen. I love the fact that, you know, he continues to come with it, right? Crossing over into the realm of micro triptychs, right? On the other side of lightning, right? That's what lightning does when it purifies, though, right? It strikes, it burns, and it leaves you with that spice that dances inside your nose. Of course it does, because it's Nemo soon. Make sure you are plugging in with Nemo, a bona fide monster, right? Guerrilla poet aside, a bona fide monster and mainstay of our community. Thank you, Nemo. We'll connect some. Coming up next, this poet, a newer mainstay of our community, continues to come and drop some heat. Clearly, this evening, we are getting more of the chronicles from the car, but this poet is about to bring it all the way. The one and only Kid Tay is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you as always. Take it away.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram under my name that is listed here. It's Kite _ the poetic cat, and it's cat with a K. All right. So I have two short ones that I'm going to do. Live out your dreams. Things don't have to be as dark as they may seem. Don't ignore the truth of reality and the opportunities you will meet. Along the way, the feelings of doubt will retreat. If you look beyond the horizon, you'll see there's more reasons to live than reasons to die, hon. Don't hide your light, shine it, because others need to find it. When you feel broken and defeated, remember that you're simply going through a stormy season. You have perseverance, have faith that better days will come. No storm lasts forever. Eventually, the clouds dissipate. The sky illustrates rainbows after the rain, proving that beauty can arise from dark, gloomy days. The way you perceive life can make it feel great or laced with sorrow, anger, and pain. Don't let the dark thoughts bind and blindside you. You worked so hard to get this far, so don't give in, don't give up. Keep up the fight and hold on when you're on a bumpy ride. Make the most of the time that we have left in this life. Don't waste it away thinking you are already rotted and decayed. So what's the point anyway? You're worth so much more than what you think you deserve. What you give to others will indeed be returned. Make sure you're spreading love while you remain on this earth, even to those who you think don't deserve. Give, but don't overextend, and be sure to protect yourself from sinister intent. You're more than a body, more than the color of your skin, and so much more than if you're fat or you're thin. You are consciousness within. You are a beautiful soul underneath what resides on the surface. Adjust your mirror if you can't see too clearly, so you'll be able to see the true, genuine beauty. It's not your external reflection. It's the person beneath the flesh and bones. It's the soul inside of you that brilliantly glows. Second one, I am love and light, but I am also every dark aspect that has ever touched my life. Both have brought me clarity and insight. Without both, how would I tell the difference between one or the other? How would society know that there is warmth if there was only cold? The darkness is how we learn how to grow. And the brightness, it's a reflection of our soul's growth. If you are only focused on the negative or the positive, balance must be restored. Don't only embrace one, because by doing so, you're dismissing the other. And both are necessary to understand the blueprints to your life and what you are here to do. So, I am the dark of the night and the sun that shines so violently bright. By encompassing both, I know the direction I'm going in is right. The end. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
She said the sun that shines so violently bright. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Katay.
Katay, yeah.
Yes, loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, nice. Love that you're reading from your car.
Excellent, excellent,
Car
excellent.
poetry is the best.
Man, okay,
Excellent
DG,
work.
okay. Listen, this is what I love about our community and poetry as a whole. It doesn't matter if we need to sneak in the corner, if we need to sneak in the car, it doesn't matter. We are gonna get it in, right? We are going to express ourselves because this is like heartbeats, y'all. I don't know if y'all are connected to poetry the way some of these folks in this room are right now, but this is like breathing, right? It's like you can't wake up in the morning without thinking about poetry. You can't wake up in the morning without feeling poetry, right? And this is exactly what Katay just mentioned, right? I am love and light, right? Be sure to protect yourself from sinister intent. Right? You got to love the person beneath the flesh and bone, right? They said, I am the dark of the night and the sun that shines so violently. God, I love that. Oh, shine so violently. Come on. Make sure you are plugging in with Katay. I came across Katay at Open Minds, Open Mic. Shout out Thomas and Catalyst, Open Minds, Open Mic. Make sure you are plugging in with them. That is a beautiful space. Happens every Friday night. Make sure you are plugging in with them. All right. We have gotten to the last three poets of the evening, folks. And let me tell you, just like the top of the order was incredible and crazy, the bottom of the order is just as incredible and crazy. So let's start off the last three with my brother. This cat will definitely teach you something inside and outside of his classroom. I love the passion and power that this poet always brings to his poetry. The one and only propaganda poet is in the building. Unmute yourself, Prop. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It's always great to see you, also. Take it away.
Peace, love, and poetry, y'all. Unapologetically me. Here we go. I'm gonna got a haiku in two short pieces. Haiku. Were it a color, my childhood would be blue, a dark, pretty bruise. And then to continue being unashamedly me, go Sacramento Kings! Yeah. Okay. Anyway. This is from Word Tornadoes, which is coming to an East Coast near you in July. These sideshow attractions house deeper distractions. I am a man bun on a bald dude. Yeah, I know that shit don't make no sense, but this shit don't make no sense to me. All these false allegations of beauty like gallows poles throughout the centuries. Don't act like trending is a new thing when popularity has been singing the praises of the master races since the first early phases of civilization. Now, If only there were more civility in the citizenry, then maybe we could meet at the crossroads of intersectionality where dreams can actually dance with reality, and maybe, just maybe, instead of just coexisting in this insanity, we could stop limiting all the definitions of humanity. And then unapologetically yours, I'm going to do something I don't usually do. So here we go. I could have been your Prince Charming, but now I'm just a toad, just another dirty hippie carrying a damaged load, because I tossed the bones with Lady Fate and it come up that I owed. It would appear this adolescent player has got no choice now but to grow, like that Chinese proverb about the man who killed himself trying to outrun his own footprints. My past is still my own, and I just wanted to dance with you in the naked moonlight till we smelled the summer on our skin, and letting me in was like two forces in nature living in sin. And the shooting stars would make wishes upon us, and the Big Dipper would pour our lifeblood like water over Inipi stones, rising the steam from our bones until the musical tones on our flesh played for keeps. But sadly, I have to pass on this dance, because if you should happen to chance a brief encounter with me, then we could both be scarred for life. And I wanted to be your Superman so bad, but that S on my chest has become kryptonite stains on my soul. Run, rabbit, run. Safety is a hidey hole, because now everyone can see what my weakness is. And I guess the joke's on the Caped Crusader this time, as my rhyme gets distorted by distant maniacal laughter, where Smilex gas gets passed out at the Karma rave. And boy, don't I wonder what life would be like if I wasn't such a willing slave for that Catwoman scratch, when all I wanted to do was snatch a kiss. Play some brief lyrical bliss that lasted endless lifetimes in every passing moment. But instead, this player is left alone with his bad karma and a poet's heart beating on his loser's sleeve. And I wonder if I'll ever actually be able to retrieve any of the losses, like tonight, where I might touch your soul from afar, but if you choose to touch mine back, then you too may lose. So I will keep my distance, because it's all I got left. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here for each other. Thank you for encouraging each other's behavior. And I can't wait to see some of you motherfuckers in July.
We will continue to encourage your behavior. So unmute yourself. Give it up for Propaganda Poet.
Propaganda.
Yeah, buddy.
Good.
Anonymous.
July.
Love the haiku.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice read.
This guy, truly love Prop. I've been, in different spaces with Prop, and I can tell you that Prop is really who he is, right? He loves his poetry, and it comes through in all that he does. Regardless if you're a dark, pretty bruise or not, Prop, we love the hell out of you, dude, and we're going to continue to encourage your behavior, as belligerent as it might be, trying to outrun your own footprints. Though you might just be another dirty hippie, you are a damn dirty hippie. The S on my chest has become kryptonite stains on my soul. Damn it. Poet's heart beating on his loser sleeve. I remember that. I remember watching Def Poetry, and one of the poets was on there, and he was talking about you should never piss off a poet, right? Even though, some of them may be not the most popular or not the most grandiose, but let me tell you, when it gets to their words, you are done for. You are done for. Appreciate you, Prop. We will continue to encourage all of your incredible behavior. Make sure you're plugging in with Prop and all they do. Coming up next, as we are quickly approaching the end of the night, we are about to be served up something delectable by the one and only Iron Chef of poetry. I can tell you that everything he thinks is all in his mind. The one and only Generalissimo Brian Franco is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, Generalissimo. It's always great to see you.
I just put everything. I just put it all in the chat, and I have 2 poems
The first one I pulled out of the archives because Mr. Skiff had to mention Jonas Schimmel, and this mentions Jonas Schimmel as well. And then I have another one. These are both New York stories. So first is called Walking on the Hurricane. I bore witness to a homeless family of homing pigeons dining on cigarette butts deposited by humans into a rectangle of dirt where a sickly tree resided amongst sidewalk on Avenue A between 5th and 6th. It has been over 26 years since I have traversed this stretch of street. I arrived at the corner of 6th and noticed a place called Laura with blacked out windows and wondered if it was a gay bar. Is it still necessary to black out windows of gay bars in 2021? The little man made of light bulbs on the walk don't walk sign was white, signaling me it was safe to cross the painted parallel lines of the crosswalk. I noticed all the new places that weren't there before. I tried to figure which places were my old haunt, where my old haunts were. The nondescript bare bones Polish diner with perfect pierogies I had to step down a half a flight of stairs to enter was missing. The sidewalk cafe with the multi-genre Sunday open mic was nowhere to be found on that stretch of Avenue A before Tompkins Square Park. The second floor restaurant 7A with the pockmarked antique oak bar and exposed brick walls had the words Pilates Studio painted in pink cursive on the picture window overlooking Avenue A and Tompkins Square Park. At the corner of St. Mark's, there is a Starbucks where Stingy Lulu's was, where waitresses who served the burgers were waiters dressed in drag. An iconic eatery that defined the spirit of the East Village is now a coffee shop that encompasses conformity. I had to guess if a small batch microbrew tasting room had housed Shanae, where Jeff Buckley, Amy Correa, and Matthew Sweet got their starts playing for tips. Which space was Cafe 9, the coffee house designed by a Broadway set designer, where each chair was a skyscraper brownstone or storied city structure. There is nothing left from my old life. The rain is falling hard. I hold an umbrella close to the top of my head while toting a cloth Walmart bag containing knishes from Jonas Schimmel on Houston Street with an assortment of Hamantash and black and white cookies from Russ and Daughters. Earlier at Katz's Deli, I lunched on a stack of thinly sliced tongue with a side of coleslaw. The waitress brought me a free plate of pickled green tomatoes and half sours and said, "I only supposed to bring this with sandwiches, but you look like a nice boy." A 55-year-old nice boy. The rain, which is the rain from the edge of a hurricane, is dropping harder and harder. I duck under a pandemic tent outside a closed bar to recite this poem into my phone. There's a sign across the street shaped like a 3D hot dog with the words "Eat Me" painted on it. I am only 2.5 blocks from my hotel. The raindrops sound more urgent than before. There are so many umbrellas everywhere. And this next poem I wrote this weekend. Actually, and I have to find it. It's called "If Wishes Were Kisses." I wish I would have kissed you. We were standing in your kitchen. Your roommate was out of town. We never explicitly flirted with each other, but we connected many different ways via conversations. We discussed movies and music and family. You felt like family to me. I felt so at ease with you. We met that guy from your office who lived in a huge illegally divided loft on Avenue A. We went to Mona's, a dive bar with concrete floors, a punk jukebox, and disaffected youth patrons talking loudly about how unfair life was. We went to the 24-hour Polish diner just south of St. Mark's Place for pierogies. Your friend was high on something, but you said he was always that way. I think he was not happy that I showed up. Here's the thing, the way we met. We were both sitting by ourselves at a Chinese restaurant. Our tables were quite close to each other. It was my first time there. I asked you if you were a regular. You were. I wasn't trying to pick you up or flirt. I believe in talking to strangers. You asked if I wanted to sit with you. You were so incredibly handsome. I made sure our conversation never crossed over into flirting. We were incredibly compatible. We went to see 6 Degrees of Separation on opening night in New York City. Movie openings in the 90s, there were lines outside the door and down the block. We went to see Clarence Gatemouth Brown at the bottom line with free tickets from your accounting firm. Then there was that night. Your friend stumbled back to his place. You suggested we walk to your apartment. I met your roommate once before. This time she was out of town. We were standing in the kitchen. You said something about inhibitions. You looked straight through me. I could feel my heart beating against my shirt. I was too nervous because I never tested the flirtatious conversational waters. We had talked on the phone quite a bit over the month we knew each other. We had never discussed anything to do with dating or past relationships. You held the door open for me with your words and stare. We were standing in your kitchen. It was my one opening with you. I decided to stand outside the door. Thank you.
Listen, I always told y'all he continues to serve us up something incredibly tasty. Unmute yourself, give it up for Generalissimo.
No, Brian, that's just so damn good. Right to the heart. Ouch.
So nice to hear from you.
Great
Love it.
New York stories.
Thanks,
Good
Brian.
to hear the New York stories.
Thank you so much.
I shared the sacred
was great.
ganj with Gabe Mouth on his bus once.
Yeah, right. Like that was like, how they, the term, dinner and a show. That was like dinner and a love story, right? It almost a love story, or possibly a love story, or a love story in the making. Man, Generalissimo, I don't know how you do it, right? But you always seem to have a stove that's at the perfect temperature, and you always seem to just base your words with perfection, right? And listen, even the woman at Katz's Deli said, you seem like a nice boy and brought you pickled green tomatoes. Who gets that type of treatment? Generalissimo does, right? I've been talking to a poet and I keep telling him, 6 degrees of separation is thrown out in this community. For real, for real. And listen, I've never been to this space, but listen, Stingy Lulu's, come on. Who wouldn't want to eat at a place called Stingy Lulu's? Like, that's a dope ass name for any business. Thank you, Generalissimo, for always serving up some incredibly tasty poetry. Make sure you're plugging in with Generalissimo. As I mentioned, everything he thinks is all in his mind. All right, y'all, we have reached the closer for the evening. This incredible poet reached out this morning and said, hey, I am trying to make sure I'm trying to join this community. I want to get on. I want to make sure I get a spot. And I was able to share the link with them. And guess what? The closer of the evening got the last spot. And it is always great to experience people who want to be in this space and join this community. I am so thankful. I am so grateful. The closer for the evening, the one and only Whisper Poet, is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Bring it home.
Hi, everybody. You can find me on Instagram at whisper_poet. And thank you so much for the space. And I just want to say thank you to Generalissimo for making yourself so vulnerable in that last poem. A lot of times we're spitting power, and, that's awesome and fun, but you really did just a beautiful job of sharing your vulnerability. So thank you for doing that. So last night I was on Origin of Thought. There was a young man on there, I can't remember his name, and he was talking about mental health. And as he was sharing his poem, an idea came to me, and I wrote this out while he was sharing, and this one is called Today is the Day. Today is the day he will stand up and try. I think I can do it today, he says. So he grabbed his bootstraps and he pulled himself up, and he walked his feet to the place where freedom and freedomless meet. It was a choice he made for himself to get free of the monkeys, flying, climbing, clinging, and otherwise. Today he felt strong. Today he could say yes to locking himself into the white canvas concrete block jumper cables on your brain place where footsteps don't echo unless you have power. Today, that strength had the length of the years of his life, since before he was required to forego shaving, not because he needed to, but because they would not allow it, reciting in a gray, monotone voice that it was against policy to let you groom your face while expecting you to groom your thoughts. All his life, on a daily, hourly, minutely, secondly teeter-totter, up and down, self or monkeys, self or monkeys, self. Today he looked in the eyes of the one whose dreams dreamed him into being, whose love birthed him into creation, and whose will has kept him from devastation so many times before. He looked and he saw relief that he would once more try again. All right, this next one is about sexual abuse that I suffered when I was a child. There's a blank page in my memory book, age 8, second grade. Now, first grade, I've got on lock. Mrs. Berglund, with the permed gray hair, brought us to her house at the end of the school year and took us on a trail ride with her and her husband on their horses. She lived near my grandma, and I remember how odd she looked in her blue jeans as I rode the horse down the trail behind her. Third grade was Mrs. Hayes. She was tall and slim with beautiful ebony skin, and she always wore skirts and pantyhose. She taught me to write in cursive, and she did a good job too, because to this day, people admire my handwriting. Fourth grade was Mrs. Alford. She was blonde and bossy, and the only thing I liked about that year was the guinea pig in the classroom. So, why can't I remember second grade? Why can't I remember my teacher? The only thing I remember about school that year was getting in trouble for talking too much. I came home with a note almost every day. I was crying out for help, but no help had come to me the night I was molested by a trusted family friend. Late at night when his wife was asleep, did he slip her a sleeping pill to assure himself of time to play with his prey? A little girl alone in the nightgown my grandma sewed for me at Christmas. I loved her nightgowns, and I remember begging her for a new one all the time. But I stopped after that night. I came awake when he entered the bedroom. I froze in fear when he sat down beside me and moved himself near. I refused to uncurl my fingers when he tried to shove his dick into my little 8-year-old hand. He pulled them open like an orange to get to the fruit inside. I still remember how it felt against my palm as my heart pounded and I dry swallowed convulsively, panicked and hoping desperately that he would think I was asleep if I just stayed still. He knew I wasn't sleeping. He knew it the way the hunter knows exactly which way the prey will try to run. The evasion was over before it even began. You know why stories of a bear attack upset me? Not because I think that a bear will actually attack me, but because bear attack advice says to go limp, curl up, and play dead. I didn't need a bear attack to learn that skill. You know why I can't stand snakes? Because a reptile slid into my bed and stole my innocence when I was too powerless and afraid to defend myself. But here's an excellent question. How did he slither his way into my mother's confidence? How was it so easy for him to hide the demon behind his smile? The predator hides his evil behind a camouflage made of the innocence of the children that he steals every time his foul hands touch baby soft flesh. Was I the first child he molested? Such easy prey was I, sleeping in his guest bed. I know I wasn't the last one, and the guilt that I have felt across the years has burned into me like a brand. You want to hear something messed up? That son of a bitch went into law enforcement. Protect and serve my ass. Maybe someday our paths will cross again. And when that happens, it will be a YouTube live streaming event, and you will all have a ringside seat as he watches in horror while I bleed him free from evil. and I will eat his heart bite by bite, staring into his eyes with the eyes of the predator that he created. Thank you.
What? What? Through the eyes of the predator that he created? God damn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Whisper Poet.
Whisper, what an incredible poem. What a terrible story. To you.
That's how you close it out. That's how we end the evening with an incredible poem. Listen, and I warned y'all at the top of the show, right? Some of our poets will give you some incredible triggering flashbacks, but this is what we're here for, right? Such an easy prey was I. Listen, this is the type of poem that I continue to say, and the folks who know me will let you know this. These are the poems that need to be written, right? I don't care about the haiku challenges, right? About the pretty, fluffy poems, right? It's these types of poems that need to be written. It's these types of emotions that need to be worked out and written into these types of poems, right? From all the way to her elementary teachers who taught her how to write in cursive, which is a lost art, by the way, to the way the hunter knew which way the prey will run. And then the beautiful question of how did he slither his way into my mother's confidence? These are beautiful questions, horrible questions, horrible questions that deserve answers. But this is what I love about poetry, right? Because we can address these issues, right? And we can call people out on their bullshittery, protect and serve my ass, right? Thank you, Whisper. As the Jedi Master just said, come back again. Welcome to our incredible community. If they didn't tell you, you have just fucked up because you need to find yourself here every Monday night. Listen, this is the greatest community in the world. If you were looking for a community, if you were trying to find a space of people who will hear you and listen to you, you have found it. Make sure you are putting your information in the chat, all right, because you're about to get a host and a flood of new followers plugging into you. Thank you for coming through and closing us out this evening. All right, folks, we have reached the end, right? As much as parting is such sweet sorrow, we have to wait until next week for any more of this incredible poetry, right? From the opener, from the count of contact, DG Clearing, to our closer this evening in the Whisper, and every incredible poet who has come in between. You folks truly make this the hypest night of the week. It has been my privilege to host you this evening. To all the poets who touched the mic this evening, shout out to the Queen Ray Jane, shout out to RMT, shout out Fuego. Listen, until we meet again, folks, may this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agadim. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with you. Until next week, y'all, I love all of y'all. Peace.